You are watching the Vodka stream.
Round two, what is happening? I had the mic on mute again. Jeez. What's going on? Yeah. What's happening, guys? How we doing out there? Everybody good? Everybody cool? Everybody chilling, huh? We got the Vodka Stream Lounge open this time. How you guys doing? What's going on? Yeah. Had to do that. I had to put that intro in. You know I had to do that. Come on now. What is up? We got Mr. Joey Marino right here. That's right. Yeah. You at work for another hour, so no drinking yet. Well, when you get home, pour yourself something. Legend, what's up? Richard. Hello again, Eric. How you doing? We got Jazz, not Joss, Jazz. Jazz, maybe. Dave, check out Lenovo ThinkPad laptop. It's a good machine. It's not my laptop that's the problem. It's the desktop that's the problem. That's what it is. Laptop's fine. Yeah, it's this guy. I've had it for 6 years, so I mean the processor, as much as I try to soup it up or do anything with it, it just seems like it doesn't want to do it. What is going on? We meet again. Happy Friday. What's going on, Eric? Hey, we got a new sub here. Thank you for subbing there, Justin. Appreciate it. What's going on, Mr. Fear Jason? Just hopping over from Pop Culture. Oh, he was doing some live streaming. Was it Ty? Was it both? And Mr. Eric, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. Appreciate that, Infinity. Yeah, I mean, it sucked that the fact that I'm not even wearing my hat. Jeez, that's how off I am. Hold on. Gotta rock the hat. Where did I put the hat? That's the question. There it is. To make sure you got the hat on. Just consider me a walking billboard, man. But they had the Linux. It was great. It was absolutely great because he was fantastic. Like I said, I was intimidated. I was slightly intimidated because it's Harry Lennox, man. I mean, the first time that I really got a sense of him was in The Matrix, and he was intimidating, presence on the screen, but a fucking down to earth sweetheart, man. When you talk to him. All right, Mr. McLennan's here. What's up? We got ACS. What's up, buddy? Darren, how you doing? We got Ezra. Hi. Everybody doing okay? We're doing good. We got Daniel. What's up? All of existence shall be mine. How he does that. Jesus Christ. Dave, are you going to watch Man of Steel and BVS before you see? I don't know. I'll probably, maybe the second time, I'll definitely watch those. I want to watch them all like in a row, but just, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I want to. You never know when that guy's going to pop in. Geez. Well, he's, he's like full on busy right now. So I don't know. You never know. Oh, easy there. Okay. So we're good. Whoop. But you never know when that guy's going to pop in, but I don't know. It was really awesome that he popped in with Ray. Daywan's Ray. I know. I hope to get him on. Trust me, guys. I love that guy's energy. I mean, with the last of the pre-show Vodka stream, he was like, we watched his live stream and just that energy that's coming off him. What's going on, Will Morris? So, hey, Bradley, thank you for the question, of course. Hopefully, you checked out, what was it, Elu? I haven't checked him out yet. I plan on to, though. A little bit of piano, rock, and jazz going on there. 6 days, guys, 6 days. Had a small role in Rachel. Yeah, he did. He had a small role in there. Yeah, I remember that. You look at his filmography, it's huge. It's huge, totally huge, man. So it's like you want to talk about every single one. You're like, hey, well, let's talk about this. What was it like working with this, and stuff. And it's just, it's just not enough time. Like I said, it was only supposed to be like a half an hour, but he stayed there for about 43 minutes. So what's going on, Mr. Powell? How you doing? Yeah, we got Stephanie here too. Hi. That's right. DP. Double. I'm just kidding. No. No, it's deep in you. Deep in you. That's right. I always say that my porn name would just be my first initial and my last name. It works. It definitely works. So, yeah, Terminator head. Yeah, you like that? I got some new added today, man. I got Terminator head. And thank you. It's actually from Carrie. Carrie, who's out there. I think I said hi to you, bud. He had some extra little things, and he was like, "Hey, man, you want these?" And so sent him over, as well as the Joker style Batman guy. So I appreciate that, Carrie. You're awesome. And then, of course, you guys saw that I got the Dark Side McFarlane figure. Now he is placed right there. Man, that it's getting crowded up there. I'm gonna have to get in a whole other shelf right here. So that's probably in the future. I don't know if it's something similar or something different, but this whole thing is just full. And it's funny too because I have more books as well. I have more books. I have 2 books over right there that I'm like trying to get to read. Halfway through one, and then I'm going to get to the other. And then I got a couple more books that are in my closet. But anyways, let's pour ourselves a drink here, huh? I'm going to go with bourbon tonight. I don't know about you guys. So good. It's such a good sound. Love that sound. So I'm going to go with some bourbon tonight. Because why not? Stop raining. So that's good. So we got the bourbon tonight. That's right. Plumber goes deep. You know what's funny about that, Jose? I saw that guy. I saw him today when I was pulling in from, when the power was out. I told you guys that the power went out today. And and then, so then when I came back, I saw that guy walking around. I'm like, hey, there's that guy. And you know what, guys? Let's everybody out there, I don't care what is in the glass, doesn't matter. But let's raise our glasses and let's cheers for Autumn Snyder, huh? Okay, raise our glass. I mean, today is that day. Sucks that we have to talk about that, and but let's just raise our glasses for her, man, for Autumn Snyder. Cheers. So good. That's right, guys. And there was like a little bit of a campaign that happened today too. So I was kind of late to it. I saw it early on, but yeah. So if you can, like I said, the link for AFSP is always going to be the first link you see down below. If you want to go ahead and donate, go ahead and do it. Please do so. It's always for a good cause. Mr. Brian Washington, Dope Man Cave, man, your progress is inspiring. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think it's I think I've gotten, it's gotten pretty comfortable. It keeps on growing. It's always going to keep on growing. I think I like, like I said, I used to have my pub table like right here and everything, but it was just like too much of a hassle and it felt weird, and I kind of like this angle a little better because I got, I got my laptop right here that I can, do all my operations, but I like the fact that I can just be everything's kind of more open, feels more comfortable like this way, and I don't have to like rearrange too much stuff, and I got the wall right here, it feels good. But anyways, but yeah, cheers to that. It is the the anniversary of that, but I mean, hey, we have all reasons to celebrate, and we know that it's it's something difficult to talk about. It really is, but it's all good, man. So if you can donate, please donate. Remember when you didn't get a single super chat? I know, right? Didn't get a single. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it always is funny how much I think we even talked about how much this grows. How much it grew like in a year and a half or almost 2 years. Thank you, William. You're going to hell for taking those pops out of the boxes. Yeah, I mean, I know Wonder Meg hates it when I take the pops out of the boxes. I'm just not one of those guys. I have some in the box. Look at this. Okay, guys. So now that I can actually reach this, I mean, I kept this when my mom gave me. I kept this one in the box. Trust me. You know how much I want to take that out of the box. And then I got these two right here. See, I got the Rainbow Pride Batman. And I got the exclusive Nightwing also. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes I keep them in the box. Sometimes I do that. Yeah. I don't always take them out, but I like them. I like the stuff displayed. I like them displayed. It's really nice like that. I'm just saying. Yep, Funko Pops. No, but yeah, it's always crazy. Like when I started this thing, it was just it's just me at my desk, and I would just sip vodka for about an hour, and his guards are going to join since he is he upset with me? I hope he's not. I hope he's not upset. I mean, he shouldn't be. Come on. We have all reasons to celebrate right now. All reasons to celebrate. This is going to be a crazy weekend. And then next weekend's going to be crazy too. So, I mean, we're at the precipice of like doing this. Is it because of the Batman image? That's what it is. I guess we'll see. But no, the Batman image, hey, I thought it was a reshoot also. But it was just like a fucking configuration. Because first off, that whole thing was taking place during like broad daylight. They made it look like it was broad daylight, and they make Batman look blue, and it was zoomed in a little bit. So I don't think he's mad. No, I don't think he's mad. I don't think he is. Nah, he won't be. Garza. That's why I love the guy. We could bust each other's chaps, and then that'll be it. Garza needs to apologize to Nolan. Oh man, I know. Christopher Nolan's like a saint. He's such a saint. Such a saint to Mr. Snyder, man. Tell you what. What's going on, Jesse? I just want Clark to be my baby daddy. Oh, well, I think, a lot of people out there, a lot of folks out there would love Clark to be be their daddy, especially Henry Cavill Clark, I guess you could say. He doesn't bow to anyone, no one. But yeah, so yeah, it's cleared up outside because I remember when I was the first round of Vodka Stream, man, it was like the thunder was crackling pretty hard that whole time. It was like, eesh, always worrying that power is going to go out. But we're good because when it comes to California, I mean, geez, are you going to be on that live stream? It sounds like I will be. Yes, sir. All right, been following since Mandroid Show. Look at this guy, Josh. Since the Mandroid Show. Man, those were the days. Those are some late nights that I had doing that. Dave, grab. Oh, I haven't grabbed any Foot Action shirts. I need to. Because some of those things are beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Washington. Any live stream plans for the 18th? Roundtable. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I don't know about the 18th. Because that's Thursday, right? I don't know. We'll probably just have our, normal vodka stream. And then, you guys better watch. You better watch the movie. We're going to be talking spoilers next vodka stream. That's for sure. I mean, you guys got to realize this is the last vodka stream before we all see Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's right. So be prepared, folks. Next week will just be full on spoiler talk. Okay. We ain't holding back just because it's just the way it is. So don't tune in if you don't want to hear anything. Don't click in, but yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah. And then what was I gonna say? Shit. I forgot. I totally forgot. Totally drew a blank on that. What's going on, Nate? How you doing, buddy? What? Fire. Sweat. Seriously. Here we go. Last vodka stream before. Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think about. It's really crazy to think about. We're finally here. I mean, like I said, when Steven posted that our first DM with each other, when it was just like I slipped in his DMs, by the way. I think that's what it was. Maybe I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I said, "Did that feel like a Snyder film to you?" And he was like, "Nope." And that's where me and Mr. Colbert started our little friendship. I think we always knew about each other, and we always, we followed each other. But man, Just to think about that, that was November 16th. That was the Thursday before Justice League came out. I think that's what it was. It was like right before midnight too. Crazy. And that's where it just all started, and then just grew from there, man. And here we are. Here we are about to see the damn thing, all 4 hours plus of it. Jeez. Some people are seeing it this weekend. Luckies. Some people are seeing this weekend. It's crazy. Slipped in the DMs. That's right. Have you ever tried to get Karen Hines? I try to get everybody, man. Everybody's just, The thing about this, though, I mean, trying to get anybody in the cast, I mean, it's difficult because everybody has things that they're doing. They contractually, I guess you can say they can, in their contract, of course, they have to do the press and everything like that. They already did that. They did that back in 2017 when they were like kind of forced to say shit that they didn't want to say. But don't worry. I mean, see what happens when they free up. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And we got more to come, man. And then it's going to get to the point where I'm starting, talking with more YouTubers and stuff. That's another thing that's been happening. It's like making connection with like other YouTubers and everything. It's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty damn crazy. And I feel like I'm not as energetic as I should be. It's probably because I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. Because I told you guys that in the pregame show. I was like, after last night's Justice League watch, it was just like I was exhausted. It was crazy. I felt exhausted, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to sleep. It wasn't alcohol induced. It wasn't anything like that. That just was exhausted. I was just tired. That's what that monstrosity will do to you right there. It's gonna do that. Oh yeah, I would love to get David Ayer on the Vodka stream. I've tried. I've sent him a message. Maybe one of these days it'll happen. Who knows? I hope so. It would be great to talk to David Ayer. I wonder what David Ayer's choice is. Tyrone Magnus. Yep, him too. Like I said, there's people. I got a big long list. I got a list in my phone. Big long list of potential guests. And like right now, it's just been it's all Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder Justice League heavy right now. So that 2 hours of a film feels like, yeah, it did. I think that's what it is. It does not flow. And there's many things that you just can't hate about it. Yeah, Amy Adams, she'd be fun to talk to. Like I said, I've been busy trying to reach out, man. Got the connections, try to reach out. But like I said, everybody was just kind of busy everybody's filming stuff. So you just got to wait for that window of opportunity. I've noticed when it comes to trying to get like guests and everything, I even tried to get Connie Nielsen back. I wanted to get Connie Nielsen back. And I just missed the window of opportunity because she did do like a little press window for a little bit. And I just happened to hit up her people a little too late. So I was like, damn it. Oh, well, it happens, it happens, but what can you do? That's what you got to do. You just got to hit that little window of like, oh, sometimes they're available. I mean, and then sometimes things just come across the plate and you don't even expect it. I mean, like when Frank Grillo came across the plate, I was like, maybe not right now. But then I was like, oh no, he's got a new movie coming out. And then it was great talking to him. He was he was fun to talk to. Okay, I'm coming in. Whoop. Is it happening? All right. Hopefully it looks like my guest is going to be coming in pretty soon here as I ramble on. All right, let's see. Let's make sure things I'm not seeing them. Did I send them the right link? Okay. Did I send them the right link? Hopefully that's the right link. That would suck because no, it should be the right link. Yeah, I sent them the right link. Make sure. Let's see. And making sure because I did have 2 links, of course, made today. So, let's see. What was that? Oh, cool. But we'll get the boys in here too. But it might not be as late of a night as it usually is. some things that are happening tomorrow that I should be not so. I should be fresh, not so hungover. Some things happening tomorrow too, so we might not go like a full like 4 hours, maybe like 3 hours and 45 minutes. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we'll just do that instead, or 3 hours and 50 minutes. I don't know. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how late we go. We'll see how much the conversation goes right tonight. But looking forward to talking to Uche Nwaneri. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. You know how I am with names, with butchering names. So, but without further ado, looks like he's gonna be here. Let me set the tweet right here. All right, where's my? Okay, there we go. All right, let's do this. All right, Uche has joined the stream. All right, here we go, and then post that. All right. Do that. Let's see. Oh, thank you. You're gonna binge Man of Steel. Yes, that I want to do that. I'm gonna have a day where it's just like just watch all that goodness right there. But anyways, let's bring in my guest, Mr. Uche. How you doing, sir?
What's going on? What up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. Good. I'm glad to be on the Vodka stream. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, what's going on? Everybody in the live chat. How you doing tonight, sir? What do you got?
I got Martell VS.
Ooh,
bourbon.
Yeah,
this one's a fresh one. So I'm gonna pop this and we're gonna start sipping.
We're gonna start sipping. Yeah, when I hit you up and you said you were gonna do bourbon, that's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give me some bullet bourbon. I'm like, that sounds good.
Ooh, I do. Hey, you know what? That's my first choice when I'm at a bar.
Yeah,
when I'm at a bar and I don't know what's on the menu.
It's all about.
Give me some bullet bourbon.
It's delicious. It's like my favorite right now. My favorite bourbon at the moment. So pour yourself a drink, sir, and thank you for joining tonight, man. I appreciate it.
No problemo, man. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, cheers, man. Cheers.
I red cupped it because I said, it's first encounters, first time on vodka. Yeah, I'm gonna come in the neutral, right down the middle.
Right down the middle. I love it.
Don't want to get judged. Red cupping it.
Red cupping it, yeah. Oh man, craziness stuff that's happening, man. Right?
You know what, man? I tell you what. I remember when I went and watched Justice League, knowing full well that this was going to be something different, and I'm only in this theater because it's DC characters.
Yeah, it's
not because I'm actually excited for what's going to happen. And when I saw Batman laying on AstroTurf, not even actual grass.
Nope.
AstroTurf, and it looked like he had gained 20 pounds. He looked like he was sweating through his mask.
Yeah.
He was rolling on his side, holding his knee. He said, "Oh, God, something's definitely bleeding."
Yeah.
That's when I literally looked up into the heavens, and I was like, "God."
No. Yeah, I know.
They just broke Batman.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I think we all had this reaction.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much what the reaction was right there. I remember when I first saw it on the Warner Brothers lot, because I fought for a press screening, and it was just kind of like, it was a weird atmosphere. And then when I saw it again with friends, and I heard the whole theater laugh at that, and I was just kind of like, sigh. I just kind of
Is this what they wanted?
Yeah, I was like, I mean, yeah, cool. It's kind of fun, sure, but I'm like, not for this. Maybe for Lego Batman. I mean, maybe that's something Lego Batman.
I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, and Lego Batman, obviously, that's a huge property, right? Like, it has its own lane in the grander scale of the DC wider universe.
Exactly.
But this is like this was supposed to be DC proper, like proper.
something, something a little bit more adult oriented. How many times did you see that movie? You only see it once?
That's the only time I ever saw it. The
only time.
After that, I was like,
smart man.
We know what this is. I will never watch it again. I didn't buy it on Blu-ray. I was just like, it's a damn shame what they did to us. I just had come to, like, my soul had been crushed so utterly that I had just resigned myself to, well, we figured a way to fuck this up. We figured a way to fuck this up.
They did. They really did. Sadly, I mean, I saw it twice in the theater, and then one time when it came out on video, just to try. When I saw it on video, and that was the last time. And then, of course, yeah, a little bit. And then we really did that last night. We and some of the boys that will be joining us later, we watched it last night, live watch. And it was just
you motherfuckers are brave.
Yeah. You know what? I was like, you know what? We got to do it. We got to send this monstrosity off into the ether, and just like let it not be, send it off to space, and let it not be ever watched again. So we did. We watched it, and we had a drinking game and everything, and we just ripped it to shreds. It was fun, but man, I was exhausted afterwards. I was exhausted. I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. I don't go to bed that early.
It takes a piece of your soul away with it.
Kind of does.
Credits roll.
Yes, I felt weak. I felt drained. It's crazy.
It was disgusting, dude. Let me tell you. In the years since 2017, and I don't even call it Justice League. I say the 2017 debacle, the 2017 disaster,
the event. Yeah,
the event.
Yeah,
climax zero.
Yeah,
Since that, dude, I promise you, like, there's probably been like maybe 3 or 4 times where I could have like watched it as it was on like TNT, or when I was scrolling through on HBO Max, or not HBO Max. This was Netflix, one of the streaming services. I can't remember. I saw it, and I'm like, and I looked at it, and every time I literally was like, no, you know what it was? It was the other week. I swear to God, dude. It was on TNT. I was in my living room. It was on TNT. And I was like, Justice League. And it was on commercial.
Oh, thank God.
And I was like, for like 5 or 6 seconds, I was like, no.
You can't do it.
Next. I can't watch it.
No.
I just wouldn't. I could not bring myself to watch it at any opportunity that I had.
You know what's funny though? When you fire it up now on HBO Max, like we did last night, you know what plays right before it? A little teaser for Zack Snyder's Justice.
They're like, "Hey, don't worry, this is bullshit.
Yes,
the real one's coming on the 18th."
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was funny because somebody pointed it out, and then when I pushed play, sure enough, a little like snippet, like a 30-second snippet of Zack Snyder's Justice League playing right in front of her. Like, don't worry, folks, it's coming. The real thing is coming. This is just something. Who knows what the shit this is? Good luck, but yeah, you're gonna get something even better that's coming later.
So this was a parody that we did in 2017 of Justice League. Just so you know, this is the real one. It's really coming.
Look at this beauty. So, Uche, where you located at?
I'm in Atlanta. ATL.
Nice, man.
Ooh, we just survived All-Star Weekend.
Crime
wave just came rolling right through the city.
It gets pretty crazy when that happens and stuff like that happens. Huh?
Oh man, with people in Atlanta, we're talking about it like 3 days before All-Star actually happens. We're like, somebody hits me up. Hey man, you gonna be you coming into the city at all this weekend? Nope. I hit up my buddy. Hey, what you in the city? Because one of my guys lives like inside the city.
Yeah.
He's like, nope. I went to Indiana for the weekend, trying to stay safe.
Get away.
It's All-Star Weekend. Get out of the city.
No, I can imagine. I mean, anything like, I'm like an hour and like 12 minutes out of LA. Anything that's happening over there, I'm staying away. I'm not going to try with him.
Dude.
Jesus Christ. Now, where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Dallas, man. I'm from Dallas, Texas originally. My parents are from Nigeria. So, I came up in Dallas. We had to live in like desert climate, tropical climate, Africans. And and we I grew up there, went to Purdue for college, and then got drafted to Jacksonville after that. So I was in Florida. So seen a lot of different places around the country, but somehow they all felt a little bit the same.
Yeah, I could see that. So you got drafted by Jacksonville. How many years did you play?
I played 7 years in Jacksonville, and I was like, I had like a cup of coffee with the Cowboys after that.
Cup of coffee.
Yeah, we call it a cup of coffee if you don't get the whole season. So I just had a cup of coffee. I was just there for a little bit.
So so when you were growing up, I mean, was like football like always like a goal, or was it just you?
Man, it's crazy. Texas, in Texas, football is God. That's the motto, right?
Yes, I saw Varsity Blues.
And it's crazy because I didn't play football until I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh wow!
But my dream was always to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I always kind of felt like I would play in the NFL. I don't think there was a point where I didn't think I was good enough. But of course, there's always obstacles along the way, so you got to get through those types of things. But I played basketball. My parents didn't even want me playing football. My parents didn't like the violence of football for me, but they love football. They're like diehard Cowboys fans. So
they're like, we love this sport, but we don't want you to do it.
We would love to watch the oddball get kicked through the edge-shaped post. Like, they love football. Like, love it.
Yeah.
And when I told them, they knew I always loved it and always played it like outside my friends. But they were like, you focus on your schoolwork. Don't worry about that football.
Yeah.
That was their thing.
Uh-huh.
Focus on education. That's what they came here for. You know what I mean? So they were like, why it's 2% of people who make it to the NFL. Why are you trying to do that? Look at your cousins over here. He got some bioengineering cum laude degree with all these honors. And I'm like, all right, just let me do my thing. Yeah. Once they started seeing those college scouts come around, then they were just like, oh, yes, very good football. Yeah, they loved it then. So,
and of course we got Symphony. I think on Twitter he was busting your chops about go Colts.
Yeah. It was like blocking against Dwight Freeney. I actually had a couple of nice crackback blocks on Dwight Freeney, but I didn't have to block against him the whole game. I'd see him like once or twice. So, that was fine for me.
I mean, one thing about football, though, that especially nowadays, the concern is always, it's a high impact sport, the violence of it, and of course the concussion protocols and everything that's going on with that. But what's great about football is just like the structure that it actually gives you. I mean, you're with the team, you got coaches, and they could and just the structure of football. I was never a football player. I'm kind of a small guy. I was in baseball, but I mean, sports in general, the structure of it. But something about football, I don't know.
Football is kind of the structuring of how football's hierarchy works is similar to the military. So there is a very distinct kind of foundation and routine that being on that team atmosphere gives you, because there's so much really that each player's position means to the team. Like nothing works if one person's out of sync.
Yep.
You know what I mean? In basketball, one player can take over the game and that's it. And even with football, a lot of people have that misconception that the quarterback is making things happen by themselves. No, if he's not getting blocking, he can't do nothing.
No. I mean, look what happened in the Super Bowl. I mean, Mahomes, his fucking line was not holding back. I mean, he was scrambling so much, and it's just like, he's unbelievable. I mean, that fucking
and the fucking surfboard throw he made.
He was
like, and then he put it on the money, hit the dude in the face,
and he didn't. I know, and his dude didn't catch it. It's like, dude. He's busting his ass.
That is literally like,
oh my God.
This is the most effort a human being can actually give
But like you said, the other pieces were not working for him. So that's what happened. And what was working? Yeah, the Buccaneers, all that was working like clockwork.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they were Brady had no problem. He was just standing there, just like, oh, where am I going to throw it? There it is. I mean, it was just, I wish it was a better game, man. I wish it was a better game.
I think everybody was kind of just waiting for that moment when, boom, here come the Chiefs. They just start blowing through the Bucs, because last year in the playoffs, that's what happened every single playoff game. They were down like 10 plus points every game. And they just out of nowhere, they just flip a switch and they just blow the team out. But the funny thing about that is the offensive line coach for the Kansas City Chiefs was my offensive line coach my entire career in Jacksonville.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
And here's another thing that a lot of people just, didn't necessarily understand the impact of. That Chiefs offensive line was decimated.
Yeah.
One of their starters opted out, the guy from Canada to help be a frontline worker during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then both of their starting tackles were, they lost one earlier in the season. He was done for the year. And then they lost the other one in like the last 5 minutes of the playoff game before the Super Bowl. So
there was a lot of things behind the scenes that were.
They had three brand new linemen in that game.
I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, that's right. Wow.
So that puts you at that is a very tall mountain to climb.
No shit.
One offensive lineman it hurts, but three.
And then Mahomes had what? He had turf toe,
and he had the turf toe, so he wasn't even 100%. But the Bucs did a good job of game planning that. You got to game plan.
It's like, I mean, that's one thing. Brady is like if you expose a weakness, he'll expose a weakness. Like when he sees a weakness, he's going to expose it. I mean, that's one of the things that that makes him who he is. I mean, that's just the fact.
Tom Brady. Fuck him. That's what I say.
Okay. Did you play against him?
I played against the motherfucker in the playoffs too. Shoot.
So going back, your parents didn't want you to play football, but once you got signed, what did they think then? Like when you actually
they loved it when they didn't have to pay for college. Yeah, they loved that. They're like, yeah, all the way, let's go. I'm going all the way.
There it is, man. I mean, shit. Yeah, what was that day like when that actually happened? I mean, that's got to be like the best feeling in the world, man.
It's crazy because like I said, you got to overcome some obstacles along the way, and at Purdue. When I was at Purdue, I didn't play my junior year because I got suspended by the university. So
what happened?
It's such weak shit.
Say it.
Okay, so I got in a fight with a teammate in the off season. In the summertime, and so he tried. It's one of those things where younger guy gets mad because the older guy's holding him accountable for not really, not working hard enough on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And so that person gets mad and tries to fight, and then they get their jaw broken on both sides.
Ouch!
And he was bigger than me.
Oh wow, was he? Damn.
So, the university made that decision. The team actually was like, "That's our starting guard." We're not like, did you break your hand? Do we have to get surgery before the season starts? You gonna be all right?
You fine?
So I got suspended.
Uh-huh.
I came back in the spring, and I had a great senior year, but that whole thing, the NFL at that time was on one of those. If the guy's got any trouble in his past, we got to distance ourselves. So I was supposed to be a second round pick. I ended up getting picked in the 5th. But it's it doesn't matter where you get picked. Once you get in, you win. Shoot, but no, it was like a dream, dude. And I'll never forget when it happened because I was at home with my family. The whole house went crazy. It was so bad that water started raining out of the vents from my ceiling.
That's
literally, awesome. But no, it was awesome.
And then so 7 years. I mean, 7 years. I mean, that's pretty good. I know what's like the average for like
2 years.
2 years, man. I mean,
yeah.
That's a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, obviously you got like your quarterbacks, your superstars that you see them year after year. But I mean, you don't think about that average of like 2 years for any player, and you did 7, so not too shabby.
7 years on one team. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby
at all. So then you retire. So besides the YouTube channel, which I'm going to show right now, and you guys should subscribe to, there we go. Boop, right there. The Observant Lineman. I like the name, giving you a peek inside the helmet. So you're doing this, and what else are you doing with your time?
Well, I'm right now I'm in a industrial hemp grow that I've been working.
Nice.
So we're here in Georgia since hemp was federally taken off the Schedule I list. There's some industrial applications there that we're building to provide different products for the industrial sector. So rope, biofuels, things of that nature.
That's cool.
And then I got my normal investments from money from during the time in football. I owned probably one of the biggest clubs in Atlanta for about 8.5 years here.
Nice.
So all in all, pretty good stuff. Enjoying and trying to just keep finding new things to keep myself busy with.
That's good. That's good.
The YouTube side for me has been really fun because it kind of you just start finding these little communities, and like I remember after like BVS came out, like it would be like me like going on to like comment sections and going to war with people like
those were we were fighting in the trenches then, that's for sure.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in comment sections. I'm got all of my avatars for all my different little like discuss accounts. They're all BVS.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like that was the first phase of kind of the rebellion building up for me. And then I've been on Twitter since 2009, but I was never like really active until the release of Snyder Cut movement. Really, I was like maybe once in like a month and a half poster.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's crazy. I mean, it's when I interviewed earlier today. Well, I posted the interview, but I interviewed Harry Lennox, earlier where, and he read off that at Comic-Con, announced.
I want you to remember.
Oh my God. It gives me chills. And ever since then, I was like, that's when I started taking my channel a little bit more. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cover the absolute shit out of this movie. Anything that comes out, BVS. I was so excited because I loved Man of Steel, and then I'm a huge Batman fan. So I'm like, the fact that Batman is going to be incorporated, and I just was like,
got the armored Batman statue right there.
There it is.
I had the Superman one, but it broke, so I had to replace it with a bobblehead. and then I got the Wonder Woman one right there.
Nice, man. Nice. But yeah, it was just like when that came out, and then like I said, when it came out, it was just fighting in the trenches and just like all the hate that it got and everything, and it was just like,
oh dude. See, man. And that was like when BVS came out, it was like the perfect time because YouTube really was like kind of starting to hit that explosion of users. So like Tyrone, you, Chris Swenson, like y'all were guys that I would like y'all's videos are what pops up on my timeline every time, and I was keeping up with it because, dude, we all remember when that BVS trailer dropped. That is the greatest trailer in the history of trailers.
Jesus Christ, man!
I was driving down the interstate when it dropped, and I'm like, fuck the road, shit.
Dude, I was at my nephew's baseball game. It wasn't when the actual first trailer like dropped, but there was like a tease that showed the bat suit for the first time. I remember this. Yeah. Remember when of course, that's what Snyder likes to do with his marketing is do the little teases. And I remember like I'm at my nephew's. baseball game, and all of a sudden, like, my phone starts blowing up, and I start seeing them. I'm like, oh shit! I'm like, I gotta go, and I just raced home. I'm driving like this piece of shit Cavalier, just driving home,
swerving through lanes.
Dude, I was hauling
out of the way.
I'm like, the bat suit. I gotta talk about it. I gotta fucking talk. I was like, I gotta do that. Oh man. The buildup, and then of course, finally when we got that first, like, oh my god, and then to follow it up with that Comic-Con trailer that came out. I mean, yeah,
dude, the Comic-Con trailer. The Comic-Con trailer was the greatest trailer in the history of trailers.
Yeah,
watching Bruce Wayne running towards the danger, I was just like, like I said, I was on the interstate driving in my car. And I was not looking at the road. I was just like,
jeez.
But my phone just like turned all the way up in the car. Like, yeah.
Oh, I know, man. Just the way that it opens up like that, and you just see him run right in. You're like, yeah, that's what Bruce Wayne would do.
That's what Batman would do.
Yeah, he would run right toward. Everybody's running away from the falling building, and he's like, "Fuck this! I'm going towards it," because there are people that I know that are. Oh man, God.
Yeah, dude. It was truly like chilling and like just gave me goosebumps to watch that trailer play out. And then when Wonder Woman came up in the trailer, I was just like, I'm about to crash my car right into a tree. Let's go.
So when you first saw BVS, I'm sure you loved it, of course, right?
Yeah, I loved it when I saw it, but I knew that something was off with it because I had already known at that point before I saw it because I got to see it a day early. In Atlanta, they have the IMAX in Midtown, and I had got a special screening from the little WB First Access shit. I don't know.
Nice.
And I was like, it's fucking awesome, but it's weird. Like there's something weird about it. But I, knowing that probably like what, a month before that or 3 weeks before, or no, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before that, when they said that they got 30 minutes pulled out of it.
Yeah, they probably talked. I think
I was like, it feels like there's something like there that you start noticing that there's a couple of storylines that stopped out of nowhere and they didn't get no resolution. And
yeah, I mean, my first reaction, of course, I was just so hyped up. But then, you watch.
Oh yeah,
remember watching it again and just like, there's certain things you're like, wait a minute, like.
You're like, I want to see that. I want to see that Ultimate Edition. Something's up?
Yeah, and I remember even thinking, like, I think I even did a video. I'm like, well, it just seems like something was, and it was funny because, well, what if it actually should have went like this route and this, and I did like a video of like and then all of a sudden, the Ultimate Edition gets announced, and then you see it, and I'm like, oh, well, forget what the fuck I said. That's pretty much what, that's what was supposed to be happening. I mean, like the little fillers, like the whole Lois, the
entire subplot that gives you that fills in a lot about why Superman didn't know there was a bomb in the Capitol,
stuff like that.
Like we needed that information. In the first movie, like the place just blows up, and like that is your first thought. How the fuck didn't Superman see that?
I know there was so much there's so much a lot of people criticize that, and you're like, well, I mean, I don't know why you didn't see it, and then all of a sudden, it like one little piece of dialogue.
You can't see through lead because it was a lead cover, a lead laced or lead lined wheelchair. Yeah, it's like, oh well, if those are the things that people who hated on the movie, those are the things that they ripped it apart for.
Oh yeah, they totally.
And that's where I started to think, was this shit? That's kind of, it felt like that must have been intentional. To make Zach cut the movie down like that. Oh yeah, because there were so many parts that really buttoned up the storylines. That were totally taken out.
Yeah, I mean, and then just like little scenes like Batman dropping down in the LexCorp, like when he dropped
with the eyes.
Yes, and I was like, I remember when
Batman.
I was like, when that clip showed up online, I'm like, what? I literally was like, why would you? What? It's like seriously, like 1.6 seconds. It's quick. Why would you get rid of that? It's like
the same fucking reason that we're asking right now after just seeing a trailer and some teasers.
My God,
who in the hell thought this was a bad idea?
Jesus Christ. How has the past week been for you watching this shit?
Oh my God, dude. It's been a race to my computer because I got a pop culture channel that I'm doing that I just started up, and it's a race to my computer. Go do a video. Oh my God. But the teasers have been awesome, dude. Like I've had the luxury of being able to communicate with Zach since right before the marketing really ramped up. And man, I mean, this dude's an awesome dude, and I got so much respect for him.
Right.
And he deserves this.
He definitely
deserves this. If there's anybody in the world that deserves what they're getting right now, it's Zack Snyder.
He's like, you've talked to him personally. I mean, how easy is that guy to talk to?
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy, right? Because when I got connected with him and let him know I wanted to, do a fundraiser and just be a part of this final little push into the release, I'm thinking to myself, somebody's gonna he's gonna have somebody call me from like a fucking random phone number. Then they're gonna hand him the phone, and then I'm gonna talk to him. Let's see how this goes. I didn't know what to expect, so I wake up in the morning. This is the day after his people say that he's in where I connected with him on Vero, and then he said he'd hit me up the next. He'd give me a call.
Yeah,
and I wake up the next morning and look at my phone, and he's already texted me like, "Hey, you up?" And I'm like, "Motherfuckers, dude, you're on the West Coast,
dude." He wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, dude.
I'm like, dude, it's like 9 over here. It's 6 a.m. over there. What are you doing?
He's already been up for like 2 hours, dude. You don't even know.
And he's like, he texts me, I'm making my kids breakfast, and then I'll give you a call. And I'm like, all right, cool. So that gave me probably about like 20, 30 minutes. Let me get myself ready because a little bit nervous, trying to get my nerves right. Yeah. Let me go hit the bowl real quick. Something
to
literally
something to
like 30 seconds later, my phone starts ringing, and it's him calling me, and I'm just like,
it's the man himself.
And I'm like, hi, brother. Like, okay. Hello. Well, hey, Zach, what's up, buddy? While my heart is like beating through my damn chest, trying to keep my shit together,
Yeah. Oh man, the first time, the first time I talked to him, it was funny. I was getting off work, and the way I come home sometimes, or when I would come home, is like going through this canyon, and sometimes going through a canyon, your phone's gonna drop. Right as I was about to, my fucking phone starts ringing. I'm like, oh shit, and I just pulled over. I'm like, I'm not gonna go.
No.
Yeah, I got to pull over. Oh shit! And then and it was same with you. Heart going. Oh my God! It's
trying to keep your cool, like running out of breath while I'm talking. Like,
like what's up, brother? It's just like, oh man. And then after he just starts talking, it's just like, oh, it's just like talking just a normal dude, man. Regular dude. He's just like funny. He's energetic, talkative. Very talkative. I love how talkative he is, man.
Me and him talked for like almost an hour. Dude,
that's what
I'm like, this is why people this is why people follow him like they follow him, because he can be relatable to any person, regardless of the scenario. And a lot of times you don't see that with people who are in the kind of positions that he's in. You know what I mean? Like, I see that sometimes with athletes, the way that the divas deal with, people who are their fans. Like, there's a certain level of there's a certain disconnect, willingful disconnect that sometimes where people don't really want to, they want to just get the conversation over with quickly and move on and, do their thing. But, I didn't get that at all from Zach. Like, literally, it was like I was talking to a homie. We talked, we went back and forth talking about Justice League, then football, then BBS, then football, then WB, then football, then you know what I mean? So
if you're gonna get on the phone with Zack Snyder, expect it not to be a short phone call. I mean, that's what happened. Anytime that I've talked to him, it's always like a 20-30 minute fucking phone call. It's like, and it's great. And he just like, he's just shooting the shit, just chatting. He's been on
that's exactly what it is.
He's been on the stream, and like, he'll be like, oh yeah, I could stay for an hour, and then he stays for an hour and a half, or he dropped in last week. That was great, that he dropped in, surprised Ray Porter. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, he'll just make time if he can, he really does, man. And that's really one thing that I was so impressed with him was that he will actually make time for you. Like it's not like no time today, no time tomorrow, no time the next day, maybe in 2 weeks. Yeah, no. He makes time for his fans. He shows up on, regardless how they're like, oh, is this channel huge or not? No.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
He'll show up on a channel that has over 100,000 subscribers. He'll show up on a channel that has 20. And, I mean, that's just the kind of guy he is. And then it's kind of funny too, because he'll drop some shit on the small stuff.
He'll drop something, like he'll hit you with a, hey, check this out. This is cool.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I mean like one of the last times he was on, he just like drops like a fucking Junkee XL riff and goes, oh yeah, it was funny too, because when I saw him look at his phone, I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna drop it? Because he's just looking at his phone, and I'm like, either he's gonna have to go or something amazing is gonna happen. And sure enough, all of a sudden we just started hearing this Junkee XL riff, and he's just like, oh yeah, I just got that right now. And I'm like, all of us were like, holy shit.
Was that I remember watching, I jumped out from watching like probably a few minutes into when he was on the stream last time with Ray Porter. As I had to handle some business, but was that the crew at War Power? Was that when they were?
No, it wasn't that one. I actually still have the drop right now. It was like we were doing like this Christmas thing, and he showed up. It was Swenson and Nicotina, but here it is right here. I keep it in my little library because everybody loves hearing it. So here it is. I know, just bring the camera.
Yeah, take us with you.
Take us with you. If you want to do that, I mean, we'll just sit here quietly if you want. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a little XL right there.
Wow.
Hey, did you hear that, guys?
Exclusivo.
So of course I edited it, but he was just looking at his phone, just going, huh. And then all of a sudden he just starts playing it. And it's just, that's the kind of guy that he is. He's like, yeah, there you go. He's all, Tom just sent that to me right now. It's a little Batman lick. That's all. It's just,
it's crazy, man. Robert Meyer Burnett, he talks about Snyder Cut as in it's going to be like the most metal, like some metal superhero shit.
Oh yeah,
and that's the first thing I thought about when I heard that riff, because I feel like it's metal superhero shit, but it's like in the best kind of way.
Yeah, when Tom was on here and we talked about that riff, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's just Batman doing some badass shit." I was like, "Okay,
that's him fixing the putting the shell launcher on the Flying Fox."
Could be, I don't know, but like shit, I don't know. I just can't wait to see that. So you're going to be doing the auction or the charity stream this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Is it 4 p.m.?
It's going to be, it's going to start at 5. It's going to be on the 17th.
17th.
So that'll be on Wednesday.
And you're going to be auctioning off like stuff like this, like signed stuff like this beautiful art right here. My God.
Man.
Look at that.
Dude, he just sent me that today. That was like the high res one.
Yeah.
And that's an oil painting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's not like a print. He said that's pretty big.
Jesus
Christ. It's a big size.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm like, shit. I might.
I can't even imagine what
I might have to bid on that one.
My God, dude. I remember when like some of these like pieces of art came out, like from before, like from 5 years ago and shit.
Yeah, when they were building up in between BVS and the Justice League.
Yeah, but yeah,
and
so stuff like that, you're going to be auctioning off, and then you're going to have various people on the stream and everything like that.
Ooh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Damn bourbon.
Hey, what helps any kind of sniffles or anything like that, as me and Ray
that bourbon burns away all the COVID.
It's good. It's good medicine.
No, but it's I was really motivated to do this charity stream with them just because we all know about the tragedy that he had to go through, and
which, cheers to Autumn Snyder again. Today is that that anniversary, sadly, but we raise our glasses to her.
Mm-hmm. And I can relate to and I think a lot of people can relate to the whole stigma around mental health, the whole stigma around suicide. As a football player, I mean, we deal with that kind of stuff. It's a big issue right now in our community. So
football players,
with CTE and all the ramifications that come around that, it really has been. I have like teammates who are no longer here because of it. Like I've had my own like battles with depression and feeling those that kind of way, and being in that kind of dark place. So you never really you sometimes you don't know where to how to comfort people in those situations, and trying to explain to them how it affects how it can affect you, and how it can kind of alter your perception of the world when you don't really trust yourself mentally, when you feel like you're just kind of in a spiral. And like I said, I've had a mentor who OD'd, and he was in that same dark space. This guy who really taught me how to play at the professional level.
Mm-hmm.
And I got his name's Vince Manawai. I got his funeral pamphlet up there. But I just really, it's something that I really felt that especially with just the conversations I have with my teammates nowadays, I felt like it was something that was really worthwhile and really worth my time to reach out and try and connect with Zach on it. And I didn't know how, I didn't know if I was gonna get, if I was if he was gonna put it off, or if there was gonna be some kind of barrier between me and him to actually connect and talk, because of in Hollywood, people got publicist on publicist on publicist on assistant on assistant, and those people don't give a damn about, they don't necessarily care about the relationship that can be built between you and that person. So I was kind of just, to me, it was like a dream to get connected with him. I literally was like, I feel like I'm in a dream, because I did not expect it to be a scenario where it was this straightforward to connect with them, and he was that open to connect, just out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, people were like, well, boy, we're an NFL player, but I've been retired, dude. I've been retired. I'm a dude. You know what I mean? Like,
doesn't matter. So, I mean, if Zach, it feels like he just like he maybe he'll fill you out a little bit, and then he'll just be like, oh no, this guy, this person, I could trust this person in 100%. I'm gonna connect with them. And I mean, that's always the feeling that I get. I mean, there's so many times where other people that I know that it just connect with him too, and it's just that's just the way he is, and I love that.
And that's somebody that has really good energy, and they have a really good energy base in themselves. Like when you talk about people's chi and stuff like that, he has that he's got it. You know what I mean?
He's got that chi.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. So. I've and it's not just me. It's me and Lethal Lightning and RK Outpost. We're huge Snyder fans, and we've been collaborating with them and getting things together from the auction item standpoint. and then for the stream, we're really bringing the who's who of the Snyder Cut community into the picture and into the frame to be a part of the panel with us to meet with them, which includes you as well.
Thank you.
You know, so you know, we really are trying to do this as big as we can because this is that celebration. This is like the New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? Like for the Snyder Cut community, this is our New Year's Eve. This is our, you know, this is the big celebration. You know, before we cross over into that post Snyder Cut world. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been fighting for this for years, bro. Like I remember the worldwide release of Snyder Cut tweet day. Like I was spamming that shit. You know what I mean? Like I was spamming the hell out of that.
Dude,
you know,
I mean, that was a day. That was a day. Like, I mean, I remember just like, you know, and this was before like I ever had. I mean, the only thing I was connected with him on Vero. That was it. So every now and then, maybe there was a message back and forth. But when it comes to messaging, he was very short, very not very talkative. But then there's other people that were already like closer. So I was like in ties with them. And when it came to that day, and then I had a source to him that I've had since like the release of Justice League. I had this guy that, you know, that I've always talked to, which I will always remain nameless because he told me to say that. But it was just like, he's all, when I hit him up, I'm like, what's going on the 17th? He goes, whatever you do, just tweet the shit out of that at release of Snyder Cut. Just do it. Dude,
it was like 800,000 tweets.
It almost got to 1 million.
I was like, these motherfuckers, if they ain't heard anybody up until this day, they heard motherfuckers today. They heard everybody today. There's no way you can ignore it anymore. It is official. You've officially been put on worldwide notice, Warner Brothers. Worldwide.
It's great. And then, you know, and like I said, I mean, I love the fact that what you're doing with the stream, and thank you for including me. I appreciate that. Hopefully we can raise some. I mean, it's already raised over 10,000, right?
Dude, we just crossed. Let me check. We just crossed 15,000. We're at 15,445.
Jesus, look at that.
And then and let me I'll throw the I'll put the link in the private chat. And you can
while you do that, I'm going to bring in my good buddy Scott McLennan. He's going to join us. What's up, sir?
I'm sorry, that's beloved motherfucker to you. That's how that goes.
Yeah, we gotta go by that because that's what Junkee told us to do.
Man, Junkee's a beast, bro. Like,
dude, he was so much fun. That was like when I got him. When I got him to let's see, you sent a link here.
Scott, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
See, now that Justice League is over, Dave, now I bring out my stuff.
You got the J-Mo.
You better believe it. I got to go ever since I was in Dublin, and I actually went to the distillery. Like, if it's not bourbon, it's Irish whiskey. It's like I have standards. What can I say?
That's good standards.
Yeah. Taste.
Thank you. And you share that beautiful oil painting, and of course, as Dave knows, I have to bring props whenever I see something.
Oh, Scott!
Because that was the cover of the art book.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
God, man.
No, that's dope, dude. You know, it's crazy. Like, you know when you run into a Snyder Cut fan because there's always an item that we have that's still our like memento of the Snyderverse. You know what I mean? Like I got, you know, and I'm still mad that my Superman statue, my 1/6 Superman statue broke, but you know, those are my like beloved mementos. Yeah, oh yeah, dude. This oil painting.
Yeah, make sure you guys set your reminder. 4 days, March 17th.
And this is and just a little bit more information on the auction because you know, just because right now we're getting a couple of things just finalized with eBay because eBay is going to have it featured as the homepage featured items on their homepage on the 17th. So, you know, once they get all, you know, I got my my people finalizing the just I guess the whatever the hell they do with eBay to get everything set up so that they make sure that once the auction's done, items get shipped, yada yada. But also on top of that, the NFL is going to tweet out and retweet our tweet for the charity event on the 17th. So that's going to be huge. I spoke with the social media director for them last week to get that set up. So, I mean, I'm trying to bring everything I can to the table for this because again, this is New Year's Eve for Snyder Cut fans.
Jeez,
you know what I mean?
That's awesome. We're also going to bring in Mr. Stephen Colbert to the mix. What's up, sir?
Hey.
What up?
Jeez, one of these weeks I will have my mic where it's supposed to be before
No, Steven, no, you won't, because I was also listening to an hour-long episode of you and Dice talking about piss today. So you know what?
True.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of you today.
It's that episode. It's the granny. It's that episode.
The bonus episode for Patreon.
The episode. We gave our patrons an hour of is that Lex's pee? How did it get there, and what does it mean?
Granny's sweet tea.
Yeah, Granny's peach tea. Yeah. It's I'm not even done with the episode. The only time I downloaded it just in time when I had to go get my second shot today. So yay, I'm vaccinated.
Hey,
Woo.
So yeah,
awesome.
No, yeah, we started out like we're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make piss jokes for like 20 minutes and it'll be cool. And then like the whole last half, I was like, there's some really serious implications about the character of Lex Luthor and how it ties into the overall arc that Snyder presented.
No, Steven, you would never do that ever.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was very fun. I recommend people check it out.
Yes.
Not only because it requires you to sign up for my Patreon, but
there it is.
Oh, come on.
That's a plug, right?
Where's the plug?
BBS by the minute.
The plug.
There we go.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah. One of the things we do on here, Uche, is like anytime somebody plugs their stuff, we take a drink.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I have fucked some people up on this stream very well.
I mean, you have gotten fucked up on this stream. What are you talking about?
I'm not lying.
I got a good liver.
It's strong liver. But I mean, that's what's so great about what you're doing, Uche, is like bringing the awareness to that level. The fact that the NFL is actually going to recognize this because
what were they going to deny me?
Yeah.
You guys don't support suicide prevention. NFL? Okay, I'll tweet that.
There you go.
But
is that how it went down?
No. Actually, Adam Rank. I know Adam Rank. And I asked him, I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, man, I'm trying to get the NFL to tweet out and retweet this charity stream I'm doing with Zack Snyder. Can you help me? Because I've been on a stream with him over on 5 Point Vids earlier or in the last half of last year. And he was gracious because he's at the NFL Network. You can't call the NFL and ask them to do shit. If you call their offices, you're going to get somebody's answering machine.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to, it's like calling the DMV. Like you're not going to get a lot of answers. So, it's better to reach out to people who are already who are like actively involved on that level in that space. I got a couple of old teammates who are on the NFL Network, and then but Adam Rank is the biggest cat that I know there. So I hit him up. He reached out. He got me connected with the vice president of social media for the NFL. They do handle all the NFL, all their different accounts, whether it's the NFL Network or the NFL. And reached out to him. He actually got back to me really quick. We love the idea, and he said, let me know when the tweet's going out, what the tweet's going to be. We'll retweet it. We'll show our support for it. We'll retweet it, and we'll tweet out showing support for it. So that's about as big as a fucking platform as you can hope for, having the official NFL.
I just can't imagine something that 3 years ago was just something that I would talk about in my podcast with my co-host, with our Twitter followers and our listeners, or reading, watching Dave's videos or reading Steven's articles on the show, and just It's gone from that to the fucking NFL is going to be tweeting. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what world I'm living in anymore.
Earlier,
Dude, it's crazy, right? It's like a dream, like literally like a dream. It's
It really is.
I remember like, dude, and I'm a geek, so I'm not embarrassed to say this. I remember the utter like disappointment that I would use to, like, whenever I would reminisce on, because look, even to this day, BVS is still a topic of discussion, which means it was actually a masterpiece level kind of comic book film, because people don't talk about, like, people talk about Black Panther when it came out. I didn't give a damn about Black Panther. Nobody talks about Black Panther anymore. Nobody talks about really Age of Ultron or really even Avengers. Nobody talks really about Avengers like that anymore, like the first movie.
Well,
BVS
they talk about it as
still,
like a milestone, like it was
because it was that first big, it was that first.
But nobody's
MCU
like, oh, that $1
billion.
Yeah, they don't talk about it as like, oh, that one scene. I still think of that every day. They just think of like the nature of the movie,
the nature of what that started for the MCU.
Yeah.
But Batman v Superman as a singular film, and to a lesser extent, Man of Steel. Those movies are still talked about and analyzed today.
Yep. 100%.
And that in and of itself, to me, is enough to really just show how much layered brilliance these movies had in them. That it goes over the layman's head when you're in an environment where the standard was at the time the MCU and that formulaic comic book movie that they kind of script that they created. Like, I tell people this all the time. Snyder's universe was 3 years too early. It should have been. Man of Steel should have came out in 2016.
Always ahead of his
BVS
time.
should have came out in 2019, because now people are looking back at those movies, and everyone now has a different opinion. Who was shitting on it when it came out in 2016. Now they're all like, it's actually the ultimate. It's actually a good movie.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting about that is because, one, you give enough people time to actually go back and watch the Ultimate Edition to see the actual version of the movie. And a discussion we've been having over at Squadcast Media is, what is the... There we go. See, I'm subtle about it. But what we've been wondering is, how much is BVS going to get a glow up in some people's eyes after seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League to go, oh, that's how that fit. Yeah. Because you got to understand it's chapter 2 of a 5-part
chapter,
of a 5-part saga, and it's like you don't stop at chapter 2.
Just
you keep on going.
That narrative alone was something that, and I kind of blame Warner Brothers for that with the marketing, because they were kind of like, oh, we've got our team up movie too, as opposed to establishing it like as its own thing, like it should be, and so BVS wasn't really regarded that way, and in the time since. In like the sort of post-mortem, or what people thought was a post-mortem as it was happening, was when people found out, oh, there was a 5-part arc. It was a beginning, like it was going to have a definite end. BVS wasn't the Iron Man 2. It was the Civil War. Like it was already that far along I hate comparing it to the MCU at all, but I mean, it was that far along the arc proportionally that we're not setting up. Like BVS wasn't chapter 2 in a 30-part story. It was chapter 2 in a 5-part story, and just knowing that, people said, oh, I want to know how
now it makes sense.
And I think a lot of people like don't give enough credit for like what happened with the Snyder Cut and the outcry for that. I don't think BVS gets enough credit for, like, if people want, it's not just that Justice League was butchered. Movies get butchered all the time. Zack Snyder's movie got butchered, and that was a big deal. He's got a big fan base, a passionate fan base, but also it was a sequel to BVS. And so while people claim that, like you said, BVS is in a topic of conversation all the time, and because of that, therefore there's always but what about the sequel? And other movies that happens to, there's not like, oh yeah, what could have been, but it's out there, and people wanted that BVS sequel. There was a lack of closure, and so BVS and the impact that it had in driving the hunger for the Snyder Cut is the part of the narrative that I think is often lacking when people kind of tell the story.
Because you look at theatrical Justice League and go, one of these things is not like the other. Like this doesn't fit with.
If you know Snyder's, if you know Snyder's like his shooting style, his visual style, you could see where there was like complete shifts.
Yeah,
this looks like a digital recording style, and we know that he doesn't use digital, or not in the same sense as like with the MCU. He uses like real lenses. Like there's a certain level of old school authenticity to his filming style.
And not only that, but like the through the process of breaking the BVS down by the minute. BVS by the minute.
That was so good. So
and going back to Mark right here, are you gonna finish it by Thursday? No, you're not.
No way. We're gonna be doubling up for a while.
Yeah, you are.
We're starting Justice League by the minute right away. Another plug.
Oh shit! Great.
But it gets to the point, and not that it requires you to break it down by the minute to see this, because a lot of people see it, but I've been fascinated by the frequency with which he'll show, like over the years, he'd show an image or tease an idea, and having his visual language in my head, I'll have an idea of how that works, and I'll talk to someone about it, and I'll say, oh, I think that this is gonna play out in this way, or this is the kind of shot that we're gonna get, and then it shows up in the trailer and stuff we've never seen, and it's like that it scratches an itch that was created by BVS, and then you kind of see it and it comes together, and you're like, no, that is what like filmmaking is you recognize the language because it's a vocabulary, it's a visual vocabulary, and you know what is happening, and you're able to predict what's going to happen, not because it's predictable, because it is the types of words that are, or the language that is going to be used to communicate an idea.
And then you and Steven, you always love to go really into like the film making aspect of it. And for me, it's always been about the story, the characters, the thematic ideas, the philosophy, and
the mythology that he kind of leans into sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys know like that's
like Greek mythology is like littered all over BVS.
Oh,
and people don't, and that's the thing that goes over people's heads, that it's like they're confused. They're like, well, what?
Well, I mean, that's what Snyder does. I mean, even like the smallest character is going to have all this background. He like makes sure, like, hey, you know that character right there? Yeah, you know, like he's going to have this whole like backstory. Like you might see it in like a little bit of a second or two, but yeah, we cover all that. What are you showing me, Steven, right here? There we go.
That's Drew Mack, I think it was in the chat, asked where my hat came from. So it's on Ink to the People. It's one of the, if you go to their new package, they got the mouse pad and the totes and the stickers. Yeah. There's also a hat in there. And so that's what I'm wearing, and it's great. I love it. It's not like a one size fits all or anything. It's got a full fitted cap. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I got my mug. I know, Scott, you got your mug too, right? That mug is so fucking, oh my god,
it's got heft to it. I mean, I don't feel like I'm gonna break that thing.
So yeah, this is all Ink to the People stuff too. So speaking of suicide prevention,
it's gonna be like my other mug that's kind of like that too, and kind of light and tinny and stuff like that. No, when I pulled that thing out, I was like, holy shit, this is like carved out of stone.
Yeah. And the thing about Ink to the People is they make such great merchandise that I also don't feel bad about the amount of money I'm spending, because I know it's going to AFSP when it's all said and done, with the amount of money that I'm spending, as you guys are fully aware of the amount of money that I am spending. I joke that the stimulus check is what I call my Zack Snyder's Justice League budget.
That's your fucking money.
You better believe it.
I'm spending this all on Snyder Cut.
And I also have a birthday at the end of the month, so that's my excuse for all the money I'm spending right now. But, you know, even the clothing is just so good. Like, I actually, because I was shrinking sizes, and I got myself the hoodie sweatshirt, and I got myself the next size down. And then today it was just like, had my large, and I went, here, Dad, you can have it. And I took it, and he was just like, ooh, this is so soft. It's like, I know, right? Those things, they fit great. I just got a new I Heart ZS shirt. Finally, like, not a tent on me anymore. So it's just like, God, I could just spend hours going through all that merchandise.
Too is like even when it comes to the shirts that when Snyder puts out for for Ink to the People, it's like they're quality shirts because there's been times where I've been burned when it comes to like those kind of shirts, and you get them and they feel like fucking sandpaper on the
the shit that if you throw it in the washer, it's over.
Yes.
No, but like anytime that Snyder's put out a shirt, because he's put out a few shirts, they all come in. They're quality, they're soft, they're great. They survive wash after wash. I mean, he's not putting out shit.
I bought the kid size for my 8-year-old. So he's gonna be walking in being the coolest kid in second grade next week. He's like showing it off. He's like
flexing,
oh no, he's like, Daddy. Like I literally heard him talking in the back of the car with his 5-year-old brother today as I was driving them home from school. And he was like, oh yeah, we're going to Papa and Gigi's tonight because Daddy's gonna watch Zack Snyder's movie. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I have totally like programmed these children.
They're brainwashed now.
They are so brainwashed. I mean, my 8-year-old knows who Zack Snyder is. And he's just like, yeah, we're going to go to Papa and Gigi so Daddy and Mommy can watch Zack Snyder's movie. Yeah. And I got the shirt. I get to wear it next week. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so proud.
That's awesome. Uche, I meant to ask, what was your favorite teaser that came out? I mean,
come on, man. Come on, man. I think everybody's favorite teaser right now is that Steppenwolf Darkseid.
Yeah. It seems, it is crazy how like I threw a poll out on YouTube and I couldn't fit everybody on there, but I knew I was like, if I throw that if I just say the dark side tree, and sure enough, it was like 56% were like dark side. I mean, Jesus Christ!
If you go to HBO Max and check out check out Aquaman, it plays that in 4K before Aquaman.
Oh, does it?
Because otherwise, it was only available as a Twitch leak, I think.
Yeah, so I found that a little weird. How it was like,
well, they said it wasn't a leak, right?
It wasn't I shouldn't say a leak. It was posted only as an ad on Twitch, and so if you it was like
360p.
Yeah, exactly. So if you couldn't find the like original ad, the only way to watch it was from the. I guess it wouldn't be a leak; it would be a rip then. But yeah, it's actually on HBO Max proper. If you, I don't know if it's before any of them, but I saw it before Aquaman. And I saw other people say before Aquaman too.
Okay, everybody in here, be honest. Be honest, because I will. When we all got the news, the HBO Max screwed the pooch. How many of us literally was like, let me see if it's still up.
I checked.
I was like, what the fucking leak? Then I text Zach, what the fucking leak? Then I was like, I gotta see if that shit's still up.
Oh no, I didn't even try because I got kids. We were going to soccer practice, and all I saw was, okay, this phone's going off for the rest of the night.
Don't stress yourself out at all. Because if you do, these kids ain't getting no attention.
No, that's when the phone turned off. I watched Dave's stream. I got the data saver.
Yes, I put out that data saver
little suggestion, and then the phone went off. Like, no, the phone got turned off for the rest of the night.
I keep telling people, I'm like, get off right now. Right now is
you know what's crazy? I never saw anything like leaked. I didn't see anything.
Sadly, I did. It wasn't too bad.
Whenever this stuff happened, I saw the Endgame leaks because I sought those out. But it's weird how, and I don't know if this is who I follow or if people just aren't interested in me or what. But people are always like, "Oh, people are spoiling in DMs or they're spoilers on the timeline." I'm like, I'm
not looking at my timeline anyway.
Yeah, well, and I guess I also don't really care. Like by the nature of my job, I get spoiled for stuff like all the time anyway, and it's a foregone whatever. I don't care about it. But at the same time, I haven't seen a single leak, and I haven't done a thing to even try to avoid it.
Yeah, I haven't tried to avoid it, but I guess in my mind, like with when I first saw the Twitch ad, right? So I didn't know if it was if it was a leak initially.
Same with me, yeah.
So I didn't really care that I like saw that it was starting to play. I just kept scrolling past it. I was like, whatever. I'll wait until I hear if that's official.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not like, so I'm like, I know I've waited, we all have waited 5 years for this shit. Ain't no spoilers you're gonna drop that I'm going to like, I'm not gonna let that ruin what I've been waiting for.
This is the culmination of 3 years of Zack Snyder posting spoilers to Vero.
Because I'm past that level.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that some people don't realize. It's like Zack's been like showing us shit for like the last 3.5 years.
He's been explaining entire plot points at this point. It's just like,
which honestly, he kind of got to do that because there's going to be some fools out there who are gonna, it's going right over their head and they're going to try and tear it apart.
Exactly.
So he has to.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad he is.
But the funny thing is that he's spent the last 3 years sharing these images, answering Q&As in his comment sections. Some of us have kind of made careers of putting those things together and sharing them with the public. Yeah. And the funny thing is that when you go and you look at people's YouTube channels or you hear them commentate, and it's amazing how people talk about it like, this is public information. It's been out there for like 3 years.
Yeah, we've been knowing all this stuff.
We've been knowing all this stuff. And it's like, how do you, like, I just look at someone, and then Steven, of course, will say something smart ass, like, do you really want me to answer that question? It's like, no, it's rhetorical. I know why people aren't paying. I know that people aren't paying attention, but it just seems so hard for someone who is so jacked in to be like, I know all of this. I've been paying attention to everything for 3 years.
It's a really good example too, though, of just how, like, I don't know, cloistered would probably be the more offensive way to say it, but how the community that is focused most heavily on Zack Snyder's Justice League, even they don't remember absolutely all of this stuff. No. And once you step out into the general audience, they know nothing. I mean, we are like nothing. So
we're a literal minority.
We're like less than, we're 1/10 of 1% of the number of people who saw the Whedon cut in theaters. Is like, there's that, like, mathematically speaking, that's how big that community is. Now, obviously, they did huge, amazing things with that size, but it's these things are. That was a conversation we had to have at Screen Rant. I was like, how are we going to cover? Like, we know most of this stuff. Like, this has all been public information, but do we want to include it in articles because we've been doing that for 3 years, but now all of a sudden more people are paying attention. Do we treat these as do we give spoiler alerts for things that we've literally have images of for 3 years now? Or do we any of the trailers are even doing that too? They're just like, oh yeah, this is stuff that maybe would have been held back in the old marketing campaign, but literally Zach posted images of this already. So we're just going to put it in the trailer. And it's a kind of fascinating approach to a movie that we don't like. This hopefully I guess never has to happen again. Well, I mean, it's really a different situation from the way this has always happened before.
When you see that Hallelujah trailer, the first official, I guess you could say, Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer, it's like, I mean, when he showed up when we were on Real in Motion, I guess you can drink. I don't know. Garza's not here. He's not here, but still, GC Fandom. It was like, I brought that up to him when he showed up. I was like, well, essentially all the shots that you put in that trailer, we saw like the black and white unfinished. Some of them were unfinished shots of all that. I mean, that was, you like did that for the fans. He's like, yeah, that was totally for the fans. Like,
then I pointed out the fact that on the back of the Zack Snyder's Justice League t-shirt, it was like the one line of dialogue we hear in that trailer. It's been on my back for like the last year and a half. And now, calling out to Steven, we have context. And I think that is why the spoilers, the images, the plot points we've gotten, as someone who is incredibly spoiler averse as I am, I almost don't mind. One, I don't mind because we needed that to get the movie. Like, if he hadn't been dropping all that all this time, this thing would have died on the vine. It fueled, at least my personal philosophy is, it fueled us for all those months.
He played it right, man. Like, that was some real Sun Tzu Art of War shit.
Exactly. and then though, when we see all of it, And then we hear this is a 4-hour freaking movie. We don't even have the context for where this all is going to fit in.
He showed us parts of one crumb.
Yeah, I think that's
over
one
the
of my
course
favorite.
of 4 years.
My favorite Vero comment from him of like, I couldn't find the screenshot, and I wish I had it because it'd come in handy a lot right now as a response on Twitter. But someone was like, "Hey, you've shown so much of this movie. Are you worried about there not being, or like, are there any more reveals that are going to be saved for the actual movie or something?" And his response was just like, "It's 4 hours. There's a fucking lot in there."
Yes, I remember that response.
And at the time, I was like, "Yeah, sure," but we've seen so many big moments throughout it, and then these trailers are coming out, and I'm seeing stuff. It's like, dude, I have been immersed in this. Is like an understatement for 3 years, and there's stuff showing up in these trailers where I'm like, I don't know where that goes. I don't know how this fits in this movie. Like, where did that come from? How did he stay quiet?
Hard fact.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because it's 4 hours, and I've seen, I'm not gonna claim to be an aficionado on like the politics of the YouTube Snyderverse community. I have a vague understanding because, I watch guys who are positive about this shit. I don't hate watch shit. I don't that's just not my thing. But weirdly enough, today Film Gob took me down a nice rabbit hole earlier today. They gave me a nice little like crash course on the politics side of this whole community. And I'm not saying this to bring up any negativity at all. I'm just saying it to pretty much put my perspective out into the universe as far as just the reaction from certain individuals who we don't, I don't need to drop any names. I'm sure that most people know, who really have just found ways to kind of like pretzel twist themselves into trying to dampen the light of this whole movement and the coma.
I believe Joss Whedon.
Fuck it, Jody. Hating ass motherfucker.
I knew who you were talking about. I knew who you were talking about. I was like, I have the drop. Oh man, this is perfect.
Look, personally, I got nothing against Jody. I've been on streams with him and Andy. Andy, I know a lot of people and I know the community does not like either one of these guys. And I respect that and I understand why. And honestly, that's it. That's what it is. They know that. I know that because Andy and I've had, and I'm not shit talking Andy because honestly, I don't have a problem with Andy. I've been on his channel a number of times. To me, that issue that he has with the Snyder community, whatever it may be, I don't give a fuck because I'm separating that from my conversations I've had with him. But Jody, that motherfucker. Let me tell you something. I'm watching these videos today, and I'm like, yo, you realize how motherfucking stupid you sound?
What an idiot.
I literally, and the few times that I've been on stream with Jody twice when I was on Andy's channel. Mm-hmm. And both times, and look, I'm a poised individual. He can't get under my skin. I don't give a fuck how much bouncing around he does in his chair. I don't give a fuck. That don't mean nothing to me. I'm not that dude. I'm not. You can't shake me by bouncing. I know maybe it's gravity. I don't know, but this dude hates this shit because he jumped on the wrong bandwagon at the wrong time, and you can't take it back no more. He jumped on the wrong bandwagon. He flip-flopped so many times in the crucial moments of this movement as it was trying to build up steam. He flip-flopped so many times that your credibility went out the window. Yeah. And now that it's completely shot, man, do you see the ratios on his videos? This dude is struggling to get above 70% on his videos. And it's his own damn fault because he don't know when to shut the fuck up. Shut your ass up. You were wrong. You completely misjudged the scenario. You didn't read the room. And now you just need to eat the fucking crow like some others are doing. Because a lot of people said this shit didn't exist. We all knew it existed. We knew because he showed us evidence. Zach's been showing us evidence. Like, I remember the first fucking Vero post when he put the what's his name from Watchmen, Rorschach.
Yes.
And he said, I will, he was sending a message when he put that out there. I'm never going to compromise my vision, period. And that was right after, his departure / removal. You know what I mean? Like, that was a war call right there because these motherfuckers came after that dude when he was in a vulnerable position and they attacked a motherfucker who was down. You know what I mean? Like, that's personal. So you got people who have your back. You have a community that believes in what your vision was, and we're going to ride with them. And this dude decided, because the media was all, because what happens when a movement starts, the first thing that happens is the counter movement comes to meet it. And that's what the media was when the Snyder Cut movement started, a counter movement that went directly in opposition of it. And he jumped on that bandwagon because he thought that he was riding on the right ship. He jumped on that bandwagon, and after he built up his credibility, after he had Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot when he put himself on the map, how you put yourself on the map and then burn your shit down within 2 years. Like,
amen, man.
He was so completely lacking of self-awareness. And I tried to tell him this when I was on the stream, like, bruh, you're not, what you're saying is ignorant as shit. Like, you're arguing to argue at this point. Because you're just because you keep saying something is trash, but you can't articulate why it's trash. You're just saying it's trash. To me, that's somebody who doesn't have the capacity to articulate why they really believe something is one way or another.
Amen.
So I just want, so I know where you are now on the scale of, do I give a fuck about anything you say? And you are way the fuck over here. And Film God just exposed him. Film God just continued to expose him, and that shit was fucking hilarious to me. I loved it.
Narrow window of time where I said, maybe I don't know how narrow it was, but there was a window of time where just being aggressively anti-Snyder got like a lot of pile-on. I don't know, appreciate. I don't even know what you call it because it's like just shit talking, but people would be like, yeah, let's shit talk, and so I feel like a lot of people, he's like the prime example, but a lot of people kind of fell into that where they're like, oh, if I just say this, then I start controversy. But also there's a lot of people that are ready to be like, yeah, that was trash.
They're doing it for views. He's monetizing people's emotions. You know what I mean?
Like if you like overplay your hand on that though, then he got to the point where, like, for him, like, how do you turn around from that? There's a lot of people who I think were soft enough that they could be like, you know what, I was wrong. Like, what is his, you know what, I was wrong speech? He can't just be like, yeah, I was wrong, let's move past it. Like, no, man, you've said some stuff. Yeah. You can't just
that's when you go, you gave yourself a shovel, you dug a hole, and you kept digging.
He dug a hole, climbed out of the hole, and then belly flopped back into it.
Yeah.
And that's what the fuck happened. I mean, and I see somebody in the chat said Q Tupac hit him up, and I'm diehard Tupac, so I'm like, don't hit him up. No, but it's just look, he is what you call, he is a fair weather. He's like a fair weather fan. He went to the side that was winning, and in each scenario, he just moved to the side that he felt was winning. Yeah. Like, look, there are people out there who truly didn't believe that the Snyder Cut existed, but they didn't shit on they mocked the people, they mocked the community in its fervor of support for our fact or our truth that we knew that there was a Snyder Cut. They mocked that, which to a certain extent you can forgive that, because when the cows came home and when it was all said and done, a lot of those people they bowed, they stood back and they said, okay, it's here. Then there were some people who were like, it's here, but it wasn't finished. And that's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. It's here, motherfucker. And then there's those like, like Jody. Trash.
Trash. Yeah.
And it's like, dude, cut your fucking beard and shut up.
Oh my
Also,
god.
you've
Yeah.
got-
That beard looks like it smells. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, no, I was gonna say you've got people who are like people who like Snyder's movies, but didn't think there was a Snyder cut or just weren't interested in fighting for it. And then you have people who were like interested in the Snyder cut and supportive of it, but didn't necessarily agree with the tactics or approach of the quote unquote movement. And then you had the people who were like hardcore, like that was their identity, and they were like hardcore about it. And I think part of the thing that plays into kind of what you were talking about also is that to the movement side, they couldn't tell a difference between any of the groups outside of them. So to them, someone who was like pro Snyder, like I guess this is me, who's like pro Snyder cut was like, yeah, you know what, maybe you guys shouldn't do things that way. There's no difference between like that and Jody. And so as a result, you get some of those people who are like more in the middle there, who are like, you know what, BVS was all right, but I don't think there's a Snyder cut. I'm not really interested in it. Mm-hmm. They had an easier time coming back, but I think they got treated for a few years.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get drugged a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get drugged a little bit because really, you know, look, I don't have any issue with people saying that they didn't believe it existed, because, you know, at that point, seeing screenshots to them was never going to convince them that there was actually, right. Even though there's screenshot that he's dropping these screenshots, it's not, that doesn't necessarily tell somebody that the foundations and the structure of that movie were set enough to call it a cut.
It's like saying, here's a finger, I've got a body. There's proof because there's a finger. It's
yeah,
like, well,
here's a finger. Here's 5 fingers. Now,
yeah.
You know, I got to put the rest of the arm together before. And when you get the torso and the arms together, now people will start saying, okay, maybe there's a body there. Maybe there's a body.
But also, you could just be Woody. You got Buzz's arm being like, hey.
Well, and then because you also had to deal with the people who could look at the photos with obviously unfinished VFX. And yet try to twist themselves into a pretzel saying, no, this was an earlier version. No, it's done. It's like, no, it's the done. Like, it's like, okay, this is where my Inigo Montoya comes in. I keep saying, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. And it's like people on every side got so wrapped up in semantics.
Yeah, semantics really created a lot of hostility.
Right. And it's like, how about the forest, not the trees?
Exactly. I never cared. To me, it was never about whether the VFX were done. Did he film a fucking movie?
Yeah.
Principal photography.
Did he have
he did? To me, that is the Snyder cut. The mythical idea of the Snyder cut to me is that he had anything at all that was the movie that could be like finished within a year. To be put out for release. To me, if it was anything in that nature, it was a Snyder cut. That's how I felt.
Close enough to be monetizable as a finished cut. And if you look at like the Blu-ray or DVD sales for BVS and Man of Steel, and then you look at the cost to complete, you're like, yeah, there is profit to be made there. And that's like that is there. Yeah, there's never any shared definition of like what does done mean, what does exist mean, I guess to get really any project management folks are going to love this. You have to have the definition of done is a thing that needs to be agreed on before anything is started. And so that's like, I get the semantics around that, but the bottom line is you don't need to know exactly how much it is when you know, okay, well, whatever it is, it's going to be the amount that can be made from it is more than how much it will cost. And when HBO Max came along, that was abundantly clear. I mean, look at they can't produce this much hype from their theatrical release. Like, when was the last time that there was this much hype over a movie? BVS.
There ain't been, exactly. Because I ain't gave a damn about a lot of what Warner Brothers has been doing since this Snyder shit. And really, man, like talking to Zach and like actually like having an extended conversation about like the nuance of that entire saga. Man, look, WB Pictures, because I understand now that they're actually separate. It's not just one.
Yes.
WB Pictures, fuck you, motherfuckers. Y'all some hoes.
Exactly.
Jeff with the J, Johns.
Fuck off! Get out! Fucking out!
Oh man,
Talk about that guy for a second. Who wants to talk about Jeff Johns?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Talk about that. Yeah.
I do. I want to talk about Jeff Johns.
Let's talk about Jeff Johns.
Man.
You know he follows me, right? On Twitter.
Does he?
Does he?
Yeah, dude. The tweet heard round the world. He started following me that day when I was like, when Darkseid first got teased, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is what kind of sparked, you know, me getting connected with Zach. You know, I was so hyped up when I sent this tweet because that was the first actual like real reveal of Darkseid. You know, when him, Desaad, and Granny Goodness are in that little 18-second teaser.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I got like a HD still. I saw HD still on Twitter, and I got so hyped up because I literally was like just watching the teaser for like an hour, like this shit, I can't wait. And you know, I just started thinking to myself. I literally was thinking and just typing as I was thinking. And I was like, who in the actual fuck thought this was a bad idea?
Isn't that like the entire marketing campaign? Isn't that like the commentary? Who didn't want this to be in the movie?
Well, it always makes me wonder how plugged in like the marketing team is, and like how much of because they used so much Zach stuff during the promotion for the theatrical that wasn't in there.
That's all they. Yeah, that's right.
You gotta wonder how much they were like, dude, you can't take him out, or if they have no feedback on that at all. But if I were on the marketing team, I'd be like, you guys are giving me nothing to work with. I don't want to.
Oh, go ahead. My bad, dude.
Well, I was just gonna say, like the market. If I was on the marketing team, I'd be like, I don't want to market this Steppenwolf. Give me something. I don't want to market this Superman mustache face. Give me something to put in these trailers. There's nothing to put in these trailers.
Oh man!
All caps. Who in the actual fuck thought this was a bad idea? And then I didn't. You know, it's funny because I knew that Jeff Johns' name was not spelled with a J, but I was like, but I don't know what the fuck the other way would be to spell it. And then I was about to look up his name, and then I said, you know, no, fuck him. Jeff Johns, eat shit. Darkseid is coming. Tweet. And then that shit like just hit him. That shit started going to the moon.
Yeah.
I got like 2,000 likes on that.
Damn.
And then I got, that was what got me connected with him, you know.
Did you say that Zach, or you said Jeff, he followed you before that, or he followed you after that?
No, somebody like sent me a screenshot of my profile, my profile page on Twitter, and you know how at the bottom it says people that follow, like, and they circled Jeff Johns with the arrow. They're like, and when they had like the emoji, the laughing emoji.
That's hilarious. Whoever sent that follows Jeff Johns. They're out. In
they follow Jeff Johns, and they were just like, "Wow, look at this! He's following you." I'm like, "Woo!" And then David Ayer liked somebody's reply to that.
Nice.
That's
I love how they're so borderline. Like, don't give a fuck. Like,
they're taking shots.
That the other day. He was
on.
Where was he? Was it on your show? Yeah, it was on Dave's show. I don't even need to ask these things anymore. It was on Dave's show where Zach was like, "Oh yeah," and Jeff Johns did all the lettering on those story breakdown boards.
It was almost like a mic drop. Like, hey, I gotta go, but by the way, the handwriting, that's Jeff Johns. Just saying, you guys deal with that.
Yeah.
Man, well, you better believe it, because like my texting like from the Squadcast guys were like, what the fuck did he just say? I was like, guys, I'm on air right now. I can't like text you back right now. I'm sorry.
No, when he did that, I was like, oh shit. Like, he just decided to drop a bomb right before he left by saying
so Jeff Johns was the one who actually wrote the story. Like he dictated to Jeff Johns.
So basically it was Snyder and Terrio's, like, you know, and then Jim Lee did the doodles, and it was all kind of them. But yeah, Jeff Johns, that's his handwriting. That's Jeff Johns' handwriting.
Oh, so he had to sit there and listen to Zach say, "No, write it like this."
Yeah, and then Jim Lee did the illustrations. But
while Jim was just sitting there drawing, looking like, "Oh shit, he's talking bad to him, man."
Well, that was awesome that Jim Lee did a post on that the other day.
Oh, it was a 6-tweet thread, like telling the story of the whiteboards.
Anytime I get to see it,
do it. Hey, somebody share it. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I gotta see that.
I got it.
anytime I get to see an image of Zach's old office at DC,
Jesus Christ, the thing was like a fucking man, it's a fortress of solitude. It is.
You know, it's crazy, man. When I was talking with Zach, we went into talking about the whole just about, you know, his vision, right? And the one thing that he said that literally like it resonated when he said it, it literally like was a puzzle piece that just fit the last piece of the puzzle in for me. He said these motherfuckers did not understand what and he's talking about the group that came up with the story, that came up with the 5-part arc. He said these motherfucking suits did not understand that this shit is Lord of the Rings for comic books.
Right
this
there,
is the Lord of the Rings type
look
shit.
Look at that shit.
Woo!
And mind you, these boards like went into the floor.
Yeah, it's on a lift. It's like
he said it. He said it came out of the floor. It came out of the floor.
Also, I have to point out this tweet had been up for like 5 minutes, and this is how much our brand is taken off. It said I had like 10 tweets from people circling this horse here, like, oh hey BVS by the minute, but you love that horse because there's all the horses in BVS that we talk about all the time. And everyone's like, oh, it's a horse. There's a horse in the picture.
What is this? Who's this? What's this figure in the middle? What's that little statue on the table?
That one there? That's a Batman. Let's see if I can.
Is there a way to zoom on this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Oh, here actually, I can. Let me switch it to a different tab that I'm zoomed in on, because that was just the.
Uche, what's your Twitter handle again?
CHUKWU77.
CHUKWU77.
Yeah.
There you are. And I am tweeting you directly the first tweet in the entire thread, so you can like look at it like
good thread.
Personal.
When you have somebody like Jim Lee, like just oh my god, man.
Yeah. If you want to approve this this share, Dave, I've got a close up of the. There's a bunch of stuff in here too. You see, there's Ares concept art, there's Aquaman concept art, but yeah, this is the armored Batman, and then you've got, I don't know what this is. This is a
that's armored Batman. Yeah,
it's armored Batman, and this is what is that? Is that
it's just another Batman statue? It's
like
there's another Batman statue on the right. I think he's on a horse.
Batman on a horse. Another horse. There's 2 horses. See?
Yeah, but it's Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, it's the Dark Knight Returns horse statue. Yeah.
If you look over here, you got
Superman. That Superman statue is also Dark Knight Returns. So
you got
I see that.
Dark Side concept art over here, right under.
Oh my god! Oh, that's the Superman versus Batman statue I have in the other room. I know that statue.
I see Cyborg in the back. I see Aquaman.
And then over here you've got Ares. Yeah, Aquaman. Someone pointed out over here that's Titans. Is that, I don't know if that's a Titans book or he's got all these like mythology books, so it might be something else. But yeah, if you guys haven't read it, there's an article from Bloomberg before BVS came out called, I think, Zack Snyder's Superhero Life, that talks about this whole warehouse here. That is so. It's Bloomberg, Zack Snyder's Superhero Life, and it's back before like the narrative, and so it's a very awesome article. But it talks about this. It was a big warehouse that was used for storing like big matte paintings they used for old movies, like before green screen. So they had to have these big, huge backgrounds that could be stored in here. And because technology had evolved, they were gonna. I think what Zack said in the article was they were gonna tear it down and turn it into office space or something. And he was like, no, that is literally history. Give it to me for my office. I'll make use of it. And so there's a, if you Google like Zack Snyder office Burbank or whatever, you'll find it. There's a gym that he built off to the side here. He's got all sorts
he's doing
of
his CrossFit and stuff.
He's got all sorts of statues and movie props and like the Thomas Wayne portrait in there. And anyone who's ever been in there was like, it was I think the Fortress of Solitude, I think is what it even is the article. What the article calls it. It's I will always, I wish they had like, if things had ended differently with him in the studio, in some alternate universe, there's a this is like put in a time capsule and turned into a museum on the WB lot. It's like the whole thing is so cool because it's just this huge empty office, but he turned it in. He's got this rising platform. I guess the platform is where the backgrounds were stored. So that was kind of built into the office. But they kept these like secret and down during the day. But you even see over the years, like before he got rid of his office in the WB lot, or like left WB in general, like Ray Fisher would stop by and there's pictures of them with all this stuff in the background. And It's a
this place is on my fucking bucket list now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. But I mean, but the fact of the matter is, like when he was on, when he was on, what's her name's channel? What's her name?
Grace.
There you go.
Like he did mention that there is a whiteboard that is unseen, and did mention that it's like, yeah, that's kind of not going to be seen right now, and it does instill hope when it comes to hashtag restore the Snyderverse, which has trended, of course. Did it trend today, or was that yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. I'd like to point out the interesting thing about that, though, also, is that fans are getting ready for this like fan campaign for restore the Snyderverse. And that's all. That's great. That's awesome. What people haven't realized yet is why it's been trending recently, and it's not because of fans. Like fans might be doing a lot of the tweeting. It's trending because people are teasing embargo. Like people who have seen the movie are skirting embargo to be like, okay, I can't say that I've seen the movie. I can't give a review of the movie, but I can tweet restore the Snyderverse, and I'm technically not breaking embargo, and it's blowing up. And I think it's totally fine. But I won't name the people regardless. I think people know who they are if they've seen the tweets. But I think gives a very big window into why the Restore the Snyderverse campaign is going to be fundamentally different from Release the Snyder Cut. Because Release the Snyder Cut was, does it exist? Does it not? How do we get it released? Is it even any good? And now people are seeing it and they're saying, oh, now it's just a question of, does this deserve a sequel? There's no politics about does it exist? Does it not exist? How expensive will it be? It's just, does this deserve a sequel is the only question that matters. And people who have seen it early seem to be saying, yeah. And the narrative is shifting.
Now it's not the cool kid thing to crap on this movie. Now it's almost like, I can't say, like, you almost wonder like how much is like legitimate like hype from them and how much is like, I can't crap on this movie even if I maybe wanted to or I thought it would be popular, because the tide has changed and like the hype is real for this movie.
It's funny because I actually I now know two people who have seen it already.
Yeah, I know people that have to.
I mean, that's all I'll say. But
yeah, I can't say.
It's literally, dude. I can't remember. Like we said, like I honestly, the last time I was this excited to watch a movie was BVS. Straight up.
I was talking to someone who was involved with a bunch of Snyder projects, and they said before Justice League production started, they told Zach the old phrase of what first they mock you, then they attack you, and then they pretend it was always self-evident. And they said that was Man of Steel and BVS, and this one's the one that's gonna do it. And I said, and that's why they didn't let him finish it. And he said, exactly. So
there's you know, the reception of this movie is literally going to, I mean, and I don't want to say create a narrative, but I want to say the reception of this movie will decide will be the judge. The public opinion will be literally set in stone for WB from almost an image of for the brand. It's going to be either WB was right or you fuckers, you this was wrong. Y'all knew what y'all were doing, and now you have literal shit on your face for this.
Not only almost ruin this movie, but also you undermined efforts in the media to get it made by having sources release info to say it doesn't exist, to say it's a pipe dream, to say it would be terrible. Like they were putting out, they were all but official press releases with, unnamed, WB executives, but it was people who are high up in the company who were talking to the trades and talking to other the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times,
Variety, and
saying like not just saying it doesn't exist, not just saying there's no interest in it, but saying it would be terrible. And how do
saying it was unwatchable?
Watchable,
I still do not believe that they ever watched that movie and said that. I believe because of just how I understand it, I believe that, you know, and this is, and there's a little similarity to the football to the behind the scenes in the football world, to how I understood talking to him about how this shit really, you know, how it plays out, how you can perceive it. Like in the football world, you know, when you have players who are competing for a position, you know, a lot of things come down to how somebody executes something and how consistently they can execute. And for the person who's unable to execute consistently, their only saving grace is that something unforeseen happens to the person who's performing better than you. And to a certain extent, every backup is hoping that the guy in front of him gets hurt. You know what I mean? And these motherfuckers like Jeff Johns and Toby Emmerich, these were guys who saw that there was an opening for them with how BVS was received. And the BVS honestly was received that way mainly because of a narrative that was set by the media before it came out, and the fact that the studio interfered and pulled 30 minutes out of it, which was a huge detriment to the story. Mm-hmm. When that window opened for these guys and they saw that there was a little blood leaking from Zack Snyder, metaphorically speaking, they went in and they tried, and that's when they started pouring poison in the ears of the people at the top, at the top of the food chain in those executive offices, and publics or media sentiment and know-it-alls like Jeff Johns took advantage of those moments. That created, you know, that softness for executives who don't know a goddamn thing about movies in a lot of instances from a creative standpoint, don't understand how things play out. That's where those guys began to lose the will and the spine to defend the product that they've already invested in and to allow it to like see itself through. Because when your quarterback has a terrible game, he's not getting piled on by his teammates. He's getting reinforced by his teammates because he has to see this shit through. And it's not going to always be on an upward trajectory. But when it starts doing this, the only way for it to have a chance to go back up is to solidify the ground that it's on. And they were weak as fuck, and they wouldn't do that. And so the entire thing imploded.
It's a funny analogy because I've lifelong Chicago Bears fan, and so to talk about the quarterbacks, I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like we all know, like Trubisky, for example, the guy's got potential, but he's he's inconsistent. But you'll never hear his teammates say that he's inconsistent. No, you'll never hear that out of a teammate's mouth.
You can't.
I wish I could join in this part because I'm so college football, not the NFL. I'm sorry. I'm in Alabama.
You're a fucking Alabama fan.
You better believe it, man.
Golly.
Sorry, man. It's just don't unfollow me now. I'm sorry, but I had to. It's just the way it is. It was born this way. It just happens.
Yeah, but you know, it's the, you know, Sujihara, that motherfucker doesn't know like the creative process that Zack Snyder was going through. He doesn't understand the lore of comic books. None of like this guy. These are like Harvard, Princeton grads who they're business people. They look at everything from like X's and O's, dollars and cents. Yeah. That's how they look at the world.
But it's interesting that then we get AT&T and the buyout that actually but taking what we've kind of determined as an X's and O's approach then has actually helped it because they're looking at the X's and O's in a different context.
Well, they're reading the fucking room. 800,000 tweets.
And I think
there's money there.
Also with the old WB is very old school in its thinking in so many ways, in the way that Hollywood works. And so they're looking at reviews, they're looking at critical opinion, they're looking at the opinions of of critics and people like bloggers and whatever. Whereas when AT&T comes in, you really see that shift with Joker, where when Joker dropped, I was like, man, I wish that they were in charge when BVS dropped, because they got really controversial reviews, and they didn't remember. BVS had really controversial reviews, and then the second week, all the trailers immediately, where they normally do the critic spots, where they're like 5 stars from Roger Ebert, they're like, user at I love Batman 97 on Twitter said this is the best movie ever. It's like that's like what's in the trailers.
I love Batman 97. I love that.
Yeah, and so that's and you see that it takes the wind out of your sails. Where you're like, oh man, the best they can do is like at I love Batman 97, loved this movie. Whereas Joker was like, oh no, look at this 1-star review from whoever, like, from this verified critic on Rotten Tomatoes, where they said this movie is so bad it's going to destroy society. You should see it. Like literally the trailer.
They leaned into the controversy. That was
yes.
over $1 billion.
They did what studio execs in their handbook. That's the thing you don't do.
Exactly.
You don't start reading newspapers. That's what same thing with football.
Yeah.
You have a bad game, don't read the review of the game.
Exactly.
You have a good game, don't read it, because you want to stay even keeled to be able to make decisions logically, to be able to focus on the things you need to do to get better. Like once you start reading about people's opinions, then you start having doubt in things that you don't necessarily need to have doubt in at that moment.
Imagine torpedoing your entire cinematic plan that you've spent over $500 million developing over 5 years with some of the biggest stars in Hollywood with like massive fan support, and you just totally torpedo the entire thing because the movie only made $870 million and people and like reviewers weren't all about it, but like everybody was talking about it. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Everybody was talking about it. Like Transformers got terrible reviews, and they're like, let's make 5 more of them. Or like the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie didn't get the greatest reviews ever. They're like, let's make a ton more of these. And like, not only that, but like, let's not change a thing. Let's literally remake the last movie again 3 times. And like it didn't sway them at all. And then this one, they're like, let's abandon everything and turn it upside down, and then refuse to admit it exists for 3. Like what? It's just
you know what I always go back to is like when Logan came out. Logan came out in 2017, right? Was it 2017? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before Justice League, obviously, right?
Yeah, it was in the spring or winter.
Yeah,
it was February or something.
Phenomenal movie.
Yes.
I
remember when those trailers came out, and it was just like, holy shit! Look what they did. They took like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who's been in nothing but PG-13 movies, X-Men movies, and they're like, hey, you're gonna go out this way. We're gonna go R-rated. We're gonna make it. We're gonna bare bones, and it's gonna be raw. It's gonna be gritty. And I remember talking to a friend of mine, going, "There's gonna be a shift." There's a shift. This is perfect right before Justice League. This is perfect because, this is something that Snyder probably is going, holy shit, look at that. And it just sucks because we didn't get to where, to his Justice League. But I'm just saying, like, I thought there was going to be like this shift, and I'm like, it's happening. And then it didn't happen because, Warner Brothers fucking shit the bed.
Look at what Fox did. I mean, Fox made some missteps, especially with X-Men.
Oh yeah.
But look at the difference in decision making there, because you had I had his name in my head. James Mangold made The Wolverine also in 2015 or whatever.
Which wasn't, that was a solid solid comic book flick,
It was, but look what they did. They cut it down. They removed the whole scene or most of that scene with the ninjas and where they like get him with the harpoons and stuff. And then they made him add this like CGI villain in, and
the Silver Samurai bullshit.
And people generally are like, this movie was great except for these things. A little bit of studio meddling into an otherwise really cool film. And what did they do? They said, you know what, James Mangold, fucking have at it on the next one. Yeah. Like, look at the total reverse situation of a little bit of studio meddling in BVS, and then they just totally took the legs out from underneath Justice League versus versus what Fox did. And then what Fox did, I mean, true, I guess maybe they gave it a lower budget than the Wolverine and all that other stuff. But man, imagine if Fox had said, you know what, Zach, we're sorry. Do whatever you want with this next one. We're going to let you go crazy. And I guess maybe the difference is that the Wolverine was a little bit better critically reviewed and made more money, but still or not made more money, but made more money comparative to its budget. But still, it's crazy that one studio is going to be like, yeah, we restrained you too much, and the other is like, oh, we're going to stop you from doing anything.
Well, and then also talking about narrative and media. I mean, we had the Vanity Fair article that came out a few weeks ago. We basically had the follow-up to that interview that came out today that was all about Ray Fisher and Joe Manganiello.
And about how Whedon kept on calling Diana Natasha.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Did you hear about this, Uche? Oh, man. Yeah.
Was that in the was that the tell-all that Zach did?
No.
Okay, I got this one too. Give me a second. I'll have it for you.
It had the interview that Anthony Bresnikan, who's like probably one of the best film reporters out there. It's the second half of that last piece that he did on Zach, where he talked about like the whole situation. And then this one was just a straight. I actually questioned whether or not he did it this way because of the way Ray Fisher holds the press accountable. And he's like, you know what? Instead of interpreting this and turning it into a piece where I pull quotes, I'm just going to give you guys this straight interview.
Yeah, just lay it out there and let the people be the judge.
There it is. It's on your timeline now. There you go.
Cool,
but he just did like question answer. And Ray said, he's like, I think that Whedon is like really butthurt or whatever about Age of Ultron.
Oh, totally.
And just like can't get over the fact that people didn't like it as much, and he was trying to force all these ideas into Justice League that were from Age of Ultron. And one of the things that he mentioned was that he kept on accidentally calling Diana Natasha
for Black Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, man. Like as bad as he made that movie and is completely like disproportionate to the original that it was. He's a piece of shit. I think we all know that, but how much blame can you really put on Joss Whedon? Because they had to back up a dump truck full of money into his crib to really like make it worth the while. This dude, there was no hope for this movie once you took it out of one director's hands. We saw what happened with Solo.
Yeah.
Like when you take it out of one director's hands, you might as well burn it and then start from the ground up.
I think I'm not a huge Whedon fan, so I'm not in a rush to defend him. But I do think there's a lot of signs of him just kind of taking studio notes. Like he was subject to the same 2-hour mandate that Zach was.
Yeah,
and it's hard to work with. He had to use Zach's footage, which I think we'd all agree Zach's footage is going to be better, but he had less flexibility in the kind of story. He was being told to turn an elephant into a giraffe, and he didn't get to decide that it was going to be what kind of giraffe it was going to be. And so the studio is sending him notes, and he just has to include that stuff. And I think that there's certain things, like I know Dave has been saying this since 2018. He preferred the old Steppenwolf design. Yeah, like there had already been work done on the new one, and as we know Zach had already switched to that because it's the one that's in the screenshots that he put out over the years. So like Whedon was like, that other one was better, but it was too late to go back to it at that point. And so I think that it would be nowhere near as good, but I would agree if he had been given like complete creative control, like from the ground up, it would be a better movie than what we got. It would have been completely disconnected still. Not what I wanted. You know what I mean? Not as good as what we're going to get, but it would have been better than being forced to turn this into something. I think I agree on that. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct, dude. I mean, I didn't do that. I mean, I hate even talking about 2017 because it's just not like, it was just like defeat. It was like, it's over.
Well, I mean, and Steve, like I said, Steven posted our first DM exchange. I mean, it was literally on like for me, like it was like midnight your time, almost midnight, and I just like slipped in your DMs and I said, "Feel like a Snyder film to you?" And you're like, "Nope." Not at all. It felt vindictive. Like just the way it was built felt like it was just
like I was talking about cinematic language earlier and how you communicate something visually, and to me, they said "fuck Zack Snyder" is what I read from the cinematic language in this movie. It was like every decision that was made was explicitly to undermine, to remove a Man of Steel connection. Where's the Codex? To undermine a Batman v Superman connection. Lois is not the big gun; she's the key. Like what? Where is the like? Where's the cohesion? Everything was like
there was no cohesion, and that bugged the absolute crap out of me.
Which we missed you on last night's watch, Steven, but you know we were thinking of you.
Yeah, I had to sleep. It was but I watched the beginning of it. And I was like,
sleep after, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I was like exhausted.
I got to be honest too. Like I almost joined you at the last minute. I was like, you know what? If I do, then it's going to screw up the rest of my week, and I need to not be screwed up this week. But I've been really tempted to rewatch it too, to do this, like to purge it from my system. Oh and every time I start thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I have the choice to never watch that movie again if I don't want to, and I don't want to.
I had the choice after we did the commentary track to not do it, and then Dave, I the things I do for Dave, I want you to understand what I sacrifice for you. I really want you to understand that.
I will say this movie, actually, when I started watching you guys last night, there was a part of me that thought, you know what? The Snyder Cut might, this is going to be weird, so bear with me. The Snyder Cut might save the Whedon Cut. Because in all the ways that it's offensive, it is now the fact that it has been the wrong has been righted. I feel like it might, after the Snyder Cut comes out, it might be possible to watch the Whedon Cut as a joke, as a
guilty pleasure.
But that's how when Tim and I over at DC Film Squadcast, when we did our commentary track, I told Tim that was the only way I was going to watch that movie. Like I didn't even, when they sent me that stupid Steelbook as a prank, because I refused to buy that movie, #Justice Pledge. I was like, I'm never going to watch this. I don't know why you guys sent me this. And when the Snyder Cut got announced, I went, it doesn't hurt as much anymore. Like I can actually sit through it now.
It's like watching The Room or something. I think I said yeah when you said guilty pleasure, and I regret that because it's not a guilty pleasure at all.
But like, there is actual psychological trauma that I associate with that movie.
But maybe
there's a wound in me that I associate directly with that movie. I cannot watch it. Like I told Dave, that shit was on commercial when I put it on TNT one day because I saw it and I was like, well, you know, it's DCEU, and I clicked and I turned it on, and it was on commercial. And literally, once I knew that it wasn't on in that very moment, and it was on commercial, my brain was like, "We can't watch this shit. Change it." And I just switched to the very next channel. I didn't care what it was, and I just walked off.
All right, we got a late guy coming joining in.
Sorry, man. Just came back home. I was like, I got to make it the Dave show today.
This is the last vodka stream ever in a world where Zack Snyder's Justice League has not been released.
This is BSC before Snyder Cut.
BSC.
This is the last
BSC, ASC. That's what it'll be forever known now.
This is the last vodka stream that we're gonna have before we all see this shit.
Damn.
Yeah, think about that, Chris. Think about that. The next vodka stream, which is next Friday, we're all have.
I think we come back here next Friday.
Yes,
and we give our thoughts.
You're welcome. We're gonna have a good time next Friday. Yeah.
And you know what's great? Speaking of how bad,
see you guys. See you.
I'm the same. I don't call it Justice League. I hate that. I call it the theatrical cut or the Whedon. I love calling it the Whedon cut just because like that's what it is. Man, now and I lost my train of thought because I started to say that.
I just call it 2017.
Yeah, now that we're talking about the Whedon cut, the really cool thing about this is that I'm sure from everything I've seen, this is going to be awesome. I don't have to be concerned for a second that it's going to be that bad or worse. It's only going to be better.
No way it could ever be worse. There's
any
no
kind
way.
of like, will it be better is not really even, maybe there's a how people will react is a question, but there's not a fraction of anxiety over like, oh, but what if it's no good? Because it's guaranteed to be an improvement. It's if Dave were here, I'd ask him to drop the Max Lord. The Max
Life
Lord
is good, but it can be better.
That's good. It can be better. Like way
Come
better.
on, you don't need
way,
drops when you have me,
way,
Steven.
way.
It's what I do. It's okay.
Where's that?
He's looking for the drop right now.
Oh no, wait, but don't use it maybe because it's not good. It's not good, but can be better. It's terrible, and it's gonna be better.
It's terrible,
but it can be better.
Yeah,
There it is.
It can be better.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to pee. I was like, damn it. Right now.
You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that when you watch the movie, Dave. You have to train your bladder. 4 hours. It's a marathon, man. It's a marathon.
Oh, trust me, I'm going to be good because I won't be. I mean, I've had two vodka streams, and I was pre-gaming with the first one with some beer. That's what fucked me up right now.
Yeah.
Beer in the beginning, the first vodka stream, the Harry Lennox one. So, and I don't know if you guys, Scott, did you watch it? Did you watch the Harry Lennox?
I watched enough. I watched enough to watch my question.
Okay, yeah.
I was so pleased with the response that generated. That was, and he laughed his ass off at my cookie, and that made me so happy.
Oh my god, he laughed his ass off.
Can I get I was setting my projector up, so I'll need to know what was the question.
Projector?
Yeah.
When your wall.
Well, no, Scott asked about Titus, the movie Titus that he was in, the Shakespearean movie with Anthony Hopkins. Mm-hmm. And when Scott hit me up, and I was like, "Oh shit, you know what? I remember I remember seeing that cover, and I never saw the actual movie. And that was like Scott's first like introduction to Harry Lennox. My first introduction was Matrix, as a Commander Locke. But before that, he did Titus. So I was like, oh, and then I was just like, well, just submit a question. And when Scott, at the end of the question, he just flat out, ate a cookie and then brought up a Martian Manhunter figurine, of course, that he has, because he has everything. And Harry Lennox laughed his ass off. When you come back, you hear Lennox just fucking laughing so hard about it. Yeah,
it was a proud moment for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
I will admit, but it was also great. He just loved the fact he was like, I was in Rome doing Shakespeare. I'm like, dude, I am like,
oh my god,
I'm in for this story. Let's go.
I mean, you two need to get Harry Lennox on the Squadcast. You two, just on something. Because that is right up your alley right there. I mean, just listening to the guy, I'm like, just talk more, please, sir.
Oh my god, when he started talking about Laurence Olivier and Richard Burton, I was like, oh my god.
I was like, I brought up that question. I'm like, because he is a character actor. Like when you see Harry Lennox, you're like, oh yeah, it's Harry Lennox. And I'm like, there are actors out there. It's like, yeah, they're movie stars. They have their names plastered on the marquee, and it's like, but do you want that, or would you rather be like that character actor where people go, "Hey, look at it, it's Harry Lennox."
They may not, they may not always know your name, but they're going to be like,
"That guy,
it's that guy, it's that guy."
That's your Stanley Tucci, your Stanley Tucci's, your freaking Steve Buscemi's, who are just like always like, what's his name? Who's also
who's the one guy from The Game with Kurt He just passed away a few years ago. He was in that Game movie with Kurt Russell?
The Game. Well, you meant The Game with Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas,
the
Michael
Douglas
movie.
Yeah.
His buddy who was helping.
I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Exactly. It's that guy. It's that
guy. If Dice is still watching, you're about to get a whole
down the
list
middle, got the white hair on the side.
No, but Googling it, right? Scott Googling it.
I'm not Googling. I got let's see, hold on. I'm on IMDb right now.
Who is he? I know.
You talking about James Rebhorn? Is that no?
He's got the long face, Hold on, where's let me pull it up.
The long face.
Male pattern in the middle, like
DC Shop, PJ, DC Shop. Right? DC Shop. That's what it's
or Into the People. Which it depends on what shirts he's talking about.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at too.
True.
Wait, he's talking about Ink to the People, or I don't know.
No, he's talking about the Dark Side shirts, right?
Well, Ink to the People has a Dark Side shirt too.
Yeah, that's true.
James Rebhorn.
Yeah, Rebhorn. Yeah, that guy.
That
right?
guy.
That guy.
That
I didn't even know he passed away.
I
He
did.
did. He passed
either.
away a
That's
few years ago.
That's
Yeah.
a shank. He was
The first
fantastic.
thing I remember is Independence Day with him. Yeah.
That dude
Yeah.
is literally like
He was
that.
the dick.
Is
He was
that
the
guy?
dick.
That's where it comes
Dick,
from.
the fucking dick in the cabinet that that was pushing back against everything the president wanted to do in Independence Day. Yeah.
I remember him in was it Scent of a Woman? Al Pacino.
Was he
He
in
was
that?
like
I
the
haven't
principal
seen that movie in
or
years.
something.
I haven't seen that movie in years, so I can't
Oh,
remember.
was he the
Oh yeah,
dean?
Scent of a Woman. He was in Scent of a Woman. My Cousin Vinny. Meet the Parents.
He was in everything.
Independence Day. This dude he's a fucking legend.
He was everywhere. Yeah, you're right.
That's
I
The
didn't know
talented
that
Mr.
name.
Ripley. Jesus, he's in everything.
Oh yes, he is in the Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Yes. But like that's why I wanted to ask Lennox that. It's like, yeah, like what would you rather be? And then he answered it beautifully, and he talks about you got to be honest with yourself when it comes to like acting. You got to be honest with yourself. It's like, what are you going to be when you're like in this role? It's like, yeah, you have these people who are like movie stars, and then you have these people that you just see that are just like they appreciate the craft and they appreciate everything. And that's why I'm like, God damn it, man! Can you imagine just after all this happens, they go, Jason Kylar and HBO Max goes, hey, let's do a fucking Martian Manhunter. Let's do it. And I'm like, please.
God, I still love his scene at the end of Man of Steel. Are you effing stupid?
I just love the decision to make that. Like,
you drop.
Are you effing stupid?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that needs to be a drop.
I mean, that was PG-13. They can drop one F-bomb in PG-13.
No, but that's why I love it when he says "effing." Like that whole like the number of David Goyer like has some like very underappreciated lines in that Dick Splash or like.
I still love if we're done measuring dicks now, can we
Yeah.
I love Lois's line there.
What if I need to tinkle? Yeah. Lois has a lot of penis related one-liners.
He does. He does.
Oh man. No, but like that, I mean, yeah, that's what and I mean, just how unique is Martian Manhunter when it comes to like the world of superheroes? I mean, when we're talking about like trying to do something fresh, I mean, how fresh is like literally this is a entirely different species from another planet that you can really dive into with the origin in the Martian culture and the family dynamic, with his brother and how that's all happening and how he gets brought to Earth and all that stuff. It's just there's so much.
And how does Snyder do that? Because I mean, back in 2016, when we did a crossover with Beer with Geeks and we did like the ultimate like superhero supervillain bracket, spoiler alert, Martian Manhunter won that because you look at his power set and you're like, damn,
he's the anti every big superhero.
I mean, he phases, he shapeshifts, he has he's got laser beam, he's got laser eyes, he can do all, he's got telepathy. It's like anything you need him to do,
and he likes cookies.
And he likes cookies.
I mean, the marketing is there.
I was just reading Darwin Cook's New Frontier, and his origin and that is so cool because like there's so many different ways. This could be a $200 million movie. It could be a $50 million movie, depending on what approach you take. Because like in the Darwin Cook one, he comes to Earth and he's got that power set, but what is he concerned about? He wants to figure out what the people are about. He assumes his identity and he like goes to movies and he's like it's in the civil rights era is when that's set. So he's fascinated with all the stuff that was going on, especially coming from Mars. They got the white Martians and the green Martians, and so he's like fascinated with that stuff on Earth, and like that kind of defined like why he became a detective was to be able to like help people who weren't getting the representation they needed from the law and stuff like that. And so like, yeah, when you do a Martian Manhunter movie in 2021, like what do? Do you do the Martian Civil War and then he comes to Earth and do you do the Man of Steel version of that movie, or do you do the like he spends like where most of it
he's
is
already
like,
been there 10 years or something,
and he spends the movie shape shifting, and it's a low budget because you don't need to show him as a Martian most of the time, and he's a detective, and there's so many different ways to take that, and it's so cool to think about.
And then also you get that amazing Darwin Cook scene with Batman where he goes, I have $1 million rock for the one in Metropolis. All I need for you is a penny for a box of matches. And it's just like, damn, yes.
Yeah.
Darwin Cook was a legend, man. Oh.
It's so funny. People are like, this is like the quintessential version of these characters. And I'm reading it. I'm like, this is darker than most of the stuff Snyder has done.
I know. Exactly.
I mean, New Frontier by Darwin Cook. You guys know how much I love my reading recommendations.
Yes.
Dude. And the animated movie is fine. That's great. But no, do yourself a favor. Read Darwin Cook's book. It is fantastic.
I'm putting that on the list now. That's
I
going to be a
I only got one.
Once.
Scott never brought it out.
Yeah, right.
I'm shocked.
And the art on this thing is
hold on.
amazing.
Okay,
Hold on.
Scott's gonna one up you. Scott's gonna one up you.
Well, and this whole thing on that island with the Task Force X, where they're like literally, dude jumps into the mouth of a T-Rex.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Do you want deluxe or absolute?
Oh my god!
I'm just curious. How do you want your New Frontier?
I mean, there's no way my shelf compares to yours. So.
Like a 2-inch thick booklet.
It was 12 issues plus there's 6-issue miniseries plus a New Frontier special, and then these editions also have like 50 pages of like design work and sketches because it's Darwin Cook. Don't you want to look at like his art book?
Whoa, Mr. Dice. Mr. Dice saying, hey, Andrew Dice, what are you saying? There's 3 F-bombs in Zack Snyder's Justice League? You're gonna no, there's not 3. There's got to be like 1, right? I don't know. I just saw the comment right now.
I mean,
it just seemed like he's actually seen the movie. What the hell?
He might know what he's talking about. Who knows?
What are you talking about? He's what? Jeez.
You never know.
I don't know. I'm going to say 3 or he's going to say 3 F-bombs.
He's going to say
it's rated R. You could have like 12. Fuck it.
Yeah, rated R. You can as much as like.
Oh man,
I would be shocked if Jason Momoa doesn't say an F-bomb.
Oh my god, you seem like he should, right?
Floating down and sky surfing a parademon through a building. Right. I'd be screaming fuck.
And who's
not blaming you now?
Who's not excited to see how Snyder edits that scene, by the way?
He's
it's one of those things where it's like conceptually it's awesome, but in the salmon hue of the third act of Whedon's movie with the like, you got to imagine that there's a.
I remember it just like yesterday where we just watched Justice League.
Yeah, literally.
Literally yesterday.
Oh god, it was painful.
It was exhausting yesterday. I don't know why. Did you feel? Anybody else feel like Scott?
Dude? What did I say? I said I went to sleep. I went to sleep at 9:00. Right, it was like literally a half an hour after watching that, and after done with the stream, I was exhausted. I felt drained, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to sleep." And it wasn't because I took like, I don't know, probably 4 shots and had 2 beers, and I'm like, that's not much, I mean, that's not much from I mean, at least, but I wasn't like it wasn't like I passed out. I sat back in my chair and I was like, doing stuff on Twitter and stuff, and I was like, I'm fucking like, I feel like I'm exhausted right now. I'm tired. Yeah. I haven't felt like that since I watched Transformers Age of Extinction. That was the last time I felt
a little part of your soul just chipped away.
Yes, because when I got home from Age of Extinction, I was like, oh, fucking A, I need a nap. I need a nap after that.
That's been this whole week for me though. Also, like I had to last night I went to bed like super early, and then earlier today I was like, I'm just gonna take like an hour nap, and then it became like an hour, 2.5 hour nap. Like I'm just drained and exhausted, and I don't know if it's other stuff or if it's just like I just need to see this movie.
God, I need to see this movie. I need to see this movie so much.
Oh man, no, I mean when it comes
we're right there. It's the 13th, boys.
Dude, Oh my God. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. Talking about, building relationships. I mean, we talked about how Steven and I, like, literally the night before it was shown in theaters, that's when I slid in his DMs right there and said, what the fuck? I mean, and then of course, just meeting everybody like in this community, and like, with Swenson and with Scott, it's just how everything like kind of came together. And, and Uche, like you, I was familiar with you, and then all of a sudden, like, now you're on here, you were familiar with my stuff. It's crazy. Dude, how all it's all just kind of, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No. It's just crazy how like everything just comes together, and then there's like new people that are like, oh yeah, hey, look, they're talking about it too. Hey, let's connect with them. Let's do that. It's just crazy how it all just came together. Like
when this community,
the universe made it right.
Yeah. Well, and when this community is at its best, it's when we boost other voices. Like those of us who have platforms boost other voices who maybe don't have platforms that are as big as ours.
Sure, cool.
And
I don't know. That's Mr. Sci-Fi Center, who he's doing some good stuff over in Vegas, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But the idea is that we're all just fans, and that's the fun part, is when we get to connect and talk with people. And just because some of us have opportunities that others don't, that doesn't mean that we try to allot opportunities to others, or we don't just try to talk to people. Like I have someone who just sent me a DM that I'm going to have to, like, it's like an essay that I'm going to take the time to read. And I feel like I'm just going to
get a lot of those.
And like, I feel like I'm going to get all choked. It's like a letter. Yeah. And I feel like I'm going to get all like choked up and emotional reading it, because like, dude, I'm just a guy who does this for a hobby. Yeah. I do this on my Friday, Saturday nights just because I am a geek. And by talking to you guys, my wife doesn't have to listen to me.
Yep.
We went to BVS Comes Home last weekend for the
that's right. I was going to ask you about that, Steven.
For the 5-year anniversare. And first of all, I've never seen the Ultimate Edition on the big screen. So that was awesome. But not only that, but seeing it with a group of people who all were passionate about it, and knowing that in like a little over a week I'd be seeing the sequel to that movie, that alone was awesome. But also I got to meet cool people like Abdul and Ray from Flightcast and Meg, and a bunch of people were there. And but it was crazy because like after it ended, there are people coming up just being like, man, I just listen to your podcast and I really appreciate what you guys do. And like we just named it, like you and Scott and Dave and Chris, and I watch all you guys. I'm like, I'm just you, but I have a microphone in front of me. Like, it's not,
dude, we Chris and I experienced that at Snyder Con, where it was just like, that was pre-pandemic. And, obviously when you watch BVS, it was probably half capacity, maybe 25%. I don't know what it was.
Half.
Okay. I was pressed up against Comic Movie Mark's Matt, like up against his shoulder for fucking 3 hours. We're watching this in shitty seats, not the luxury seats that you had. We were at a shitty, at the Pasadena, convention, whatever, the theater that was just like,
college,
we were like this. It was just like this. I was pressed up against Matt like the whole time, just like going, please don't have to pee. Please don't have to pee. Please don't have to pee.
He's a big dude, so.
Yes. But it was crazy. Yeah. As much as it was probably awesome, like how you watched it, it was probably even more electrifying because it was a packed house of hundreds of people. Crazy.
I had my wife right next to me, and I had Shane right next to me.
That's right. Shane was maybe been on the opposite side of me.
Cologne. You smell good, Shane.
It was like, thank God everybody wore their deodorant and showered that day, man. Jesus.
But you know what? I think I've said this before because I really mean it, but my God, the day in the hopefully near future that we all actually meet each other, like it blows my mind. Like no one believes me when I talk about Tim and me, and it's like you do realize that we've never met we've been
in real life, yeah.
In real life, like we've been doing this for 5.5 years. We've never met each other.
That was hilarious when I met Ray. He was like, "I met you, and I still haven't met any of the guys in the Squadcast network."
I know, right?
It's crazy because I've literally have been subscribed to and watching and lurking on Dave and Chris's channels for like 6 years.
It's crazy.
Like literally. Like literally. When it was Snyder Con, I was watching all the updates. I was watching the panel with the live, the panel with Zach.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, I hadn't started with, I had aspirations of doing YouTube channel, but I mean, I was so invested in it emotionally and keeping up with everything as far as updates. Like, that's what I got on YouTube for, to see what the updates were on Snyder Cut. And it was doom, boom, 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 boom. Well, this motherfucker's got this fucking techno music with all these different movies, just fucking. I mean, but he's a fucking fan of this shit, and he knows what he like. He loves it. Like, and I dug that. And then boom, boom, boom with Dave's shit. Like, that's his thing. The fucking, you know what I mean? Like.
Well, I mean, it's
hey, I'm telling you though, we blow shit up at the end of our shows. So I'm
telling you, man, that's the next step. Is I'm all over y'all shows now. I'm gonna add those to my fucking playlist,
because we're not a YouTube. We're mainly podcast. So if you just need something to listen in the car, we blow shit up at the end. I'm just saying, we have something that we do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, dude, I'm all the way in, man. All the way.
No. It's been crazy. Like the different voices. I mean, Chris, man, you're killing it right now with like the editors and the way your videos are doing. You're fucking killing it right now, and it's like, and I went head first.
Look at you, like everybody.
I know
everybody.
I went head first into the live stream. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go head first into live streaming. But Chris, you're killing. And then the BVS by the minute. I thought, I was like, wow, that's brilliant to just break down this movie by minute. Brilliant, Steven. And then Squadcast. I mean, you guys, you and Tim have like the perfect voices. That's why I made that joke when I came on your on your podcast. It was like, you guys have that, those voices, and everything's just so snappy and just so quick. And I'm like, God damn, like I felt like I do everything so raw. I'm like, I just
no, man, dude, you are Hollywood, man.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
You got Connie Nelson, you got Harry Lynn, you got Zack fucking Snyder, you got
just so you know, Dave.
Dude, you're a Hollywood, and I know you're going to go far, man. You're going to be on the red carpet one day, and I'm going to cheer you on. I'm going to report on you.
You'll be my date. I'm going to have you be my date, Chris. Don't worry.
And just so you know, also at BVS Comes Home, I was talking to Abdul, and everyone I've mentioned this to seems to be really hot on it. So I'm going to put that out into the ether now. That I said, you know what we got to do next year, because obviously this needs to happen yearly now, where we watch BVS in Detroit, where it was made. I said, we'll need to get everyone out here and find a bar that you can reserve. It's got a stage or something, and do a live in-person.
Oh my God, that'd be sweet.
Oh yes,
right?
Oh, man.
That'd be dope.
Even live stream it, right? Live stream it from the bar with all the Zach fans.
Yeah.
So cool.
No, it's been a crazy, it's been a crazy like 3.5 years, man. I tell you what, I mean. Yeah. I mean, it's surreal. Like I said, like when I was streaming the Harry Lennox interview, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally just like on a Friday, just chilling and like streaming this right now. Like, I interviewed Harry Lennox. What the fuck? I remember watching I love the Matrix trilogy, and that was the first time I like saw this guy. And now anytime he like pops up, I'm like, hey, Harry Lennox, I love that guy. And I'm like talking to him, and it's just fucking crazy how like where shit just leads to. It's interesting, man. It's weird.
Oh man, and Dice is saying now he just posts comments on a projector in the background, which is an awesome point. If there's a live stream, definitely we'd have the comments on a projector, because right, still have it live stream, just have the comments to open everyone instead of course I'm sure there'll be some hecklers too, but that's kind of the nature of the nature of the show.
It's called YouTube. I mean, honestly, really.
Right, but you make it.
Guys, can you imagine? Because we're all we're all of an age. I think that's a fair statement to say.
Okay, thanks. My hip hurts now.
I'm sorry. Whoever the troll was a week ago who wanted to just keep on commenting about my lack of hair, I'm like, fuck you. Yes, I know I don't have hair. I've dealt with that since my sophomore year of college. Thank you very much. I mean, seriously. But it's like, guys, we're nerds.
Yeah, we're fucking geeks.
I'm sitting here going, who would have thunk, right? Who would have thunk that this is our world and everyone else is just living in it?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, even with you, Scott, I remember like my first, like when I first brought you on this, like I was just like, hey, we're drinking tonight. And you like responded on tweet like, hey, I'm ready. And I was like, you know what? I should probably invite Scott on. And I just hit you up. I'm like, you want to come on? And then that was it. Now you're on every week. It's just like, and it was like, it's perfect. Everybody always loves like when you're on. It's crazy. I mean,
it's even better when my children apparently decide to show up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Uche, like sometimes Scott's newborn will show up every now and again. Like on this, like he's like holding him and rocking him. It's Callum is a Vodka stream panelist.
Dude, my daughter, like, she's a Batman. Like, she's a Batman fan. Like,
I like your daughter already. She is
from the moment like that she was able to understand who Batman was. I made sure she knew you gonna be a Batman fan. Her first Halloween costume, Batman. I was awesome. This is what we are, baby. We Batman fans.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Yeah, man. And I love the fact that, I mean, like, coming from that football world where it's just like, it's dudes. And it's like, but you got athletes. Yeah. But then it's like, hey, but athletes can be nerds too. I mean, how many times have you seen that where it's like, oh, yeah, they're all,
There's a lot of us, dude. Like, we like, come on, dude. I grew up, like, I remember me and my brother walking to the comic book store when I was like 7 years old. Like,
dude.
We got boxes still at my parents' house today. We got boxes in our old rooms. Boxes full of comics in their plastic.
I would love to know what's in those boxes.
Oh, it's DC. Oh, all the way. Ain't no Marvel in there.
And by the way, yes, my mom loves the best. And my mom is a fan of Scott the most out of the panelists. Yeah, she is. So thank you for making that comment.
Love you, Mama Film Junkie.
Like I know, like, okay, and for me, this is my like number one, since we're going comics, like best comic storylines, like ones you relate with or resonated with you the most. Like, for me, and this is part of why I love so much and so deeply what Zach's vision was with Snyderverse, is because that shit gave me real, like, and not, it gave me like a similar feel to the way I felt when I read Kingdom Come.
Good choice.
Kingdom Come to me is like as far as modern DC is concerned, is like the quintessential DC story. That is gods among men, like, personified.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think it will come to nobody's surprise that for me it is Dark Knight Returns. Uche, you understand? Unfortunately was given that book for Christmas when I was 7.
Oh yeah, that defined your entire perspective.
That fucked me up so much. And yet shaped me so much as a Batman fan to this day, because my aunt was like, "Hey, Batman '89 just came out. Let me get my nephew a Batman book." And I got the Longmeadow Press complete Frank Miller Batman that had Batman Year One, Batman Wanted Dead or Alive, and The Dark Knight Returns, all in this beautiful leather-bound book with like a ribbon bookmark. And when I got to Dark Knight Returns, I was like, it gave me nightmares, and I put it on a shelf, and I didn't touch it again until I was 30.
Hey, Dark Knight Returns is like one of the quintessential Batman stories. Like,
I mean, that's what changed them, man.
When I got that, that's what took Batman into that more brooding, dark, somber, serious tone, right? And one of the things that got me so excited when hearing that Zach was drawing his inspiration from Dark Knight Returns was that this is the Batman that's 20 years in. That means that the comic book hero world in Snyderverse has already been in motion before Superman came into the picture. It wasn't the beginning with Superman. It was Superman came into a world that was already had its own storylines of characters who were already far into their careers. This Batman's jaded. He's seen the best. He's seen the worst. He's and like he said, you take one out and then they grow back like weeds. Like it wore him out. Like,
God, I love that
he's
line.
Human.
God, I love that line.
He's human.
Love that line. Yeah.
It showed that Batman can fall, and Batman can fall because the crusade he's on is truly never ending. He cannot win this crusade.
Well, and then as kind of is the point of deconstructing a hero, but also then as oh man, why am I our mothers have the same name? What's the
Brett Culp?
Thank you, Brett Culp. Who's awesome, but that after BVS he did the whole video. I'm sure he'll do another one after Snyder Cut that I can't wait to see.
That man so much.
If you want to cry,
what he said was it hurt so bad to see Batman in that place, but to be able to see him come out of it then is what makes that story so.
And that's profound. What we're gonna see.
Yeah, and that's what's so exciting, and that's why also I hope, like Scott was saying about BVS getting a glow up of people seeing after having seen BVS now to see Justice League. Hopefully, it'll be like, whoa, this is so much better because they went there. Imagine if they didn't go there in BVS and then in Justice League they were like, here's his redemption story. People would be like, yeah, but what really happened? But no, now they're like, oh, he was going to stab Superman with a fucking kryptonite spear. That makes this more interesting.
and for anybody who's ever dealt with like depression, PTSD, things of that nature, if you're paying close attention to the story in BVS and on Batman's side, you see all of the little breadcrumbs that Zach drops in the scenes when he wakes up at the lake house. He's got prescription medications, bottles of wine. These are things that you don't see in Bruce Wayne's personality traits as at peak Batman. He's literally he's become reliant. He's literally like crippled by the trauma that he's never been able to get over. Yeah, and it's been made worse because now he's lost so much more trying to fight it, trying to make it right.
You got Alfred who just sees it and he makes these little comments all throughout the movie, and you're like, yeah, Alfred is like worried about you, dude. And then
Alfred sees him falling.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, one of the first lines is like new rules when he drops a newspaper. It's like, oh, there it is. That's why. Look. He said,
and look at Affleck. Affleck has that total "fuck you" face.
He has that look on his face, like, man, go back upstairs.
We've always been criminals. Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
That's right.
It's so funny because Alfred, you could tell this Alfred is like, but I still, you know what? I'm gonna look over you. I care for you, so I'm still gonna go down this road with you. But I'm gonna fucking be like, hey, what the hell are you doing? But I'm, I still remember like before BVS came out and the scene between them when they look at the dead Alfred, he's he brought the war to us and blah blah blah, and it's just like when I saw that I was like, holy shit. This is a Bruce Wayne that we have not seen in any of the other iterations of this in cinema. And
when it was spoken in the trailers, it was chilling. Yeah.
Totally chilling.
Like, dude, the one of the lines that was really powerful for me in BVS was, obviously out of the Ultimate Edition, so falls the House of Wayne. Like, Alfred saw that he tried one last time just to try and make Bruce see that, look, this is not one, you're attacking the wrong person. Two, like you can't win. You can't win this. You're literally you're willfully walking to your death. Like you want it to be over. You want it to be over.
And what was the line in the new trailer about the red cape and the bull?
If you can't take down the charging bull, don't wave the red cape at it.
I mean, come on. Jeez.
Is anyone else getting?
I'm
getting a ton of feedback.
Oh man,
any feedback?
Huh?
Sorry, never mind. I just brought the conversation to a halt. Everyone was like talking, and it was like echoing.
Was that you that was hearing that?
I don't know. Is the chat hearing that?
I was hearing a little bit of some like echoing. That's all.
Yeah.
I think you fixed it.
I think it was the echo of all of us talking at the same time.
At the same time.
That shit was like,
we're all just having a moment, Steven, that's all.
Hey, Chris, I'm really curious for you. Chris, what is your like your DC story like at the core of your soul? Like, what is that story? I'm sure it's a Superman story, but what is it?
It's actually like I have to say Kingdom Come. Like every time they talk, it's Kingdom
really
Come all the way. And even at that time, it was still like Christopher Reeve was still my Superman at that time because that was all we had. We never had Man of Steel, and so like I remember him swooping in to save, and the main character, the narrator, is looking at him, and he comes in, he grabs those guys, and I envisioned, like I actually heard the Christopher Reeve music, going as I'm watching those scenes. But then I love the ominous where he's looking at it and he just realized, oh, this is bad. This is not good that he's here. This is bad. And just that whole thing is so epic. It's biblical. Yeah, I can't wait to see a fucking movie on that. Someone's got to make a movie about it.
I'm going to tell you on those A-list WB community surveys that I get like every week.
Yeah.
Anytime there's one that's connected to a DC animated movie, Kingdom Come is on that survey like every time.
I think Kingdom Come would be a great animated movie.
They just did Long Halloween. That can't be far off.
It'll happen.
And if they could do it in a style like what they did with like Superman, Batman Apocalypse, or where it's reminiscent of Michael Turner's style, or you did Jay Oliva with Dark Knight Returns, it was reminiscent of Frank Miller's style.
You have to appeal to the illustrator. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm saying, can you imagine a Kingdom Come movie that's reminiscent of an Alex Ross style?
It'd be like a Scanner Darkly. You ever see that movie?
I like that.
Man, you guys just exploded when I said that.
Yeah. I mean, that's something unique. That's something unique. Imagine that.
Because, dude, if you think about it, like maybe, I mean, as far as, there's classic DC stories, like whether you look at Crisis on Infinite Earths, whether you're looking at, Long Halloween, but there's outside of the Death of Superman storyline, I think that if there's one storyline that truly was that was really unique and really kind of gave you a perspective of DC superheroes almost exactly as they're meant to kind of be seen, Kingdom Come was it, because you saw Superman had that larger than humanity look in Kingdom Come, almost a Zeus level look. Batman, the king of the underworld, like Hades, like like and that Bruce Wayne in Kingdom Come was similar in a lot of ways to the Bruce Wayne in BVS because of that absolute kind of mindset where there is no gray area anymore for him.
Yeah. And the thing about Kingdom Come is always like Mark Waid. If the man would just stay off social media sometimes and like don't speak, just write. It's like Mark Waid is one of those creators that's like, dude, you've done some amazing stuff. I just wish you'd keep your mouth shut every once in a while because you make it hard to enjoy your stuff when you want to run your mouth. Did
you guys hear that interview with Scott Snyder on Fortress of Solitude, or what's that podcast? I'll see if I can link it if I can find it. But it just came out today, and he talked about Zack Snyder. He said he doesn't talk about it on social media.
Yes, I remember somebody tweeted about that.
He tends to not talk about it on social media just because no matter what he says about it, people are gonna be crazy.
He talked about like, you know, I think he specifically talked about Batman and how it's like, hey, show me a Batman that's unique. Show me like
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Show me a Batman that is fucking, you know, that is, you know, misguided. And yeah, he was just kind of just talking about like, you know, when referring to, you know, Snyder's Batman, and just like he just basically said like, you know, I'm all about like something that's fresh and unique, and you know, for sure.
Even if it's something I don't agree with, he's like, do something.
Yes.
He's like, even if it's not the story that I want to see, I'm into any story that takes it in a direction that I'm not asking.
Can I tell you how much I fanboy Scott Snyder? I swear.
Like the nature, because that's when people react to the Bruce and Lois romance. Like, no, it's like, no, the best way to start a story is by saying, all right, hear me out. Bruce and Lois are in a romance, and everyone says no. And you say, no. Give me 5 movies, and I'm gonna make you fucking love this idea.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
look what
imagine like, oh.
Well, think about Scott Snyder with like the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls is, Bruce, you fucked up. You've missed something that's been here for hundreds of years, and you, as the world's greatest detective,
did not know.
Didn't see it. Like that's the Court of Owls.
Oh, dude. I mean, like even recently, like I swear to God, I want to see a live action of his Batman All-Star Rebirth that he came up with when it was like a road trip with him and
Two-Face.
Oh my God! And there was like he created this whole backstory with Bruce and Harvey, and like going to school together, and like, you know, it was just. Like he created this thing like, oh yeah, some Batman fans might not like that. I'm like, I fucking love that. The fact that you created this origin where like, you know, Bruce and Harvey were like these, you know, like young friends, and now they're like on a road trip together as these alternate characters of themselves, these alternate personalities, and all these people are going after them because they're going after Two-Face. I mean, I was like, that's perfect to what you did with that story, man.
Well, see, and that's what I love about these comic book creators who go, I might not agree with it, but I still want to see it. Like I've heard various opinions about what Dan Jurgens thinks about Zack Snyder's depiction of Superman. But I will say that for the past couple of years, all Dan Jurgens has been on social media has been vocally supportive, because like he was doing something, and I want to see where that went. And people like Dan Jurgens, people like Scott Snyder, maybe, I don't know how they personally feel, and I kind of like that, because that means that they've chosen to use their platform in a responsible manner, to where it's like, let the art speak for itself. Be supportive of an artist, even if you don't agree with the way the artist was going, or maybe you do or you don't. I don't know. If I don't know what your stance is, I personally think you're doing it right, because that allows me to enjoy your work, and it also allows me to enjoy someone else's work. It's the people who draw that line in the sand that make me go, damn it, you're really...
Now they're letting their emotions speak for them, instead of allowing, you know, the things that we know to be true to bear out and let the scenario see itself to conclusion.
And these criticisms almost always center on who a character is or isn't, and it's a criticism of that's not Superman, or
and I hate that
Batman.
shit.
Not my Batman. Not my.
I mean, think about that for like any of the greatest stories told about any character. That's the whole point of a character story, is by taking them outside of what, like, what's the point of even I mean, that's a great example.
Yes.
Like, what's the point of telling a story about a character if they don't go on a journey? And a journey means leaving home. Home is where you are, where you're known as. That means taking Superman,
getting out of that comfort zone,
outside of what you know him as. And you, how do you even know to say that's not who Superman is until you take him there so that he can learn that's not who he is and bring him back? Or how do you do the same for Batman? And I'm not saying that like this means Batman always needs to be a killer or Superman always needs to be dark or whatever. But the second you say the second you put rules in a story and say X, Y, and Z can't happen, it's guaranteed to be a boring story because it's okay. So I'll just regurgitate what I've already seen and heard. Then I guess.
Well, and what I
think of Dark Knight's, like think of what was it, Dark Knight's Metal?
Yes.
Like think of that. That's really like a wet dream of how dark could Batman actually be.
Yeah.
When there's a whole multiverse of Batman who are fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, and they represent different members of the Justice League because Batman went bad in so many different ways. I mean, some of the best books in Dark Knight's Metal were the one shots that were the origins of the dark Batman.
Yeah.
I love Batman. I love Batman as a character, but you show me Batman fucked up, and it's like
as Green Lantern.
It's great. The Batman who laughs, a Batman Doomsday. I'm just like, dude, what did you do? Like, this is
Here's the exact Scott Snyder quote. He said, "The only thing that I don't want is a boring take. That's my thesis on Batman and every character I love. Upset me, inspire me, do something that shakes me up in the terms of the way I think about the characters." And someone asked in the chat what it was. It was the Fortress of Solitude podcast. You can find it on Twitter. Just find Fortress ZA is the handle. You can find it. They obviously posted it there. But yeah, he talked about Zach a little bit at the end, and he also talked about how he turned down the Snyderverse spinoff book, which he said he really wanted to do, but he's Scott Snyder. He's got his plate full.
Well, no, he's got that Noctera book that he's doing with Tony S. Daniel that just came out from Image that I backed on. I backed like the first issue on Kickstarter. That was like this nice hardcover. It's like, dude, that's another thing. It's kind of like when Zach's going to go off and do like Horse Latitudes and the sci-fi movie that Deborah talked about. It's like, I let artists make art. Like I'm listening to, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this, and these are friends of mine, so qualifier. But the 602 Club is another podcast, and Matt Rushing is one of the co-hosts on that podcast, and he's been doing a series of podcasts for that called the Snyder Cuts, where they've just been examining Zack Snyder's work, and he's like the ultra fan, and he's got a co-host that doesn't hate Zack Snyder, but it's like he enjoys some things, doesn't he's not all in. Mm-hmm. And they did like the first episode was the music videos, and the second video was the short films. And like they talked about like the Superman 75 animated short that was like, you want to understand how Superman, there's not one Superman. Watch that like 2-minute animated short and how Superman has been depicted so differently over 75 at that point. In 2013, 75 years. It's like, how can you say there's only one way to do something when
that's crazy, right?
Well, and that's what's funny about when Zach said something about doing a faithful adaptation of King Arthur, and everyone on Twitter was snarking about like, well, there is no such there is no such thing as a faithful interpretation of King Arthur because it's a legend and there's hundreds of different interpretations in different books. And it's like it's hilarious because like that's anyone who knows Zach knows that he's going to lean into that hard. So it's not going to be when he says faithful adaptation, he doesn't mean the definitive like version of King Arthur. He's talking about he's going to embrace that idea of legend and what is real and what's not real. What is the definitive? Like that's the question of if you're going to tell the story of King Arthur as a definitive story, it's going to ask, why is this a legend? Why are there so many different interpretations? Like, and that's so exciting to think about him handling it in like a mythologic way. That
Steven, you know me. I'm just like,
that's his Pornhub right there.
You better believe that's my Pornhub. You've seen my bookshelf. If you've been on my Vero, you read my senior thesis from fucking high school. I wrote 3,668 words on King Arthur. When he says he's making this movie, I'm just like, it's like that Stephen Colbert. Sorry, Stephen. The other Stephen. The Stephen Colbert meme. That's like the give it to me now. Like I need that in my life.
Oh, yes. No, man. I mean, there's we can nerd on and on and on and on and on, but I think we should actually wrap this up because I mean tomorrow might be a little busy day for some of us.
For some of you,
maybe some people. I don't know. It's going to be a busy day, but I think we should probably wrap this up. Uche, I appreciate you like joining us tonight. The door is always open.
Oh man,
you know
anytime.
what? If you want to come back next week when we're actually all talking about like what happened in this thing, you are welcome, sir.
Hell yeah, I'll be here
ever.
I'll be here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be here. We're gonna talk.
Okay. I'm gonna send you the link because I mean next week is just gonna be like I mean I don't even know if like we even need a guest because we're just gonna be talking about this movie like crazy. It's gonna be absolutely insane. But guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna bring it up right now. Subscribe to his channel. You like football? Come on, giving you a peek inside the helmet, the observant lineman. And
I put the link for the fundraiser in the private chat here too.
Fantastic.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
awesome.
That's going to be great. And we appreciate you doing that and everything. Go ahead and plug yourself, Uche.
Well, we've had a lot to drink tonight.
Yeah, I know. We noticed you sink back into your chair a little bit more.
Yeah, I started to just be like,
gravity started taking over. You're like, oh shit. Yeah.
No, you can find my channel. I've got 2 channels. Obviously, my name is my main channel. The Ath Geek, ATH Geek, the Athlete Geek is my other channel. That's where I do like my reactions to trailers, more pop culture, movies, video games, streaming centric stuff. Just started that one up, but would love if you guys would go and check that out. Hit a like and subscribe on that one. I'm just excited. I'm excited to get this thing going. I'm excited to get on this charity stream with Zach because I mean I feel like I really truly feel like it's not a stream for me. It's not a stream for any glorification for myself. It's a stream for I feel like the community to come together and let's have like a big ass block party for this shit because it's time, man. It's Snyder Cut Eve. It's about to be New Year's on the next day for us. Like it's a new day. It's after the Snyder Cut. We done crossed over from the BSC to ASC. You know what I mean? And that's what I hope for this stream. Obviously, we want to raise as much awareness for AFSP as possible, raise some money. But at the end of the day, we're doing celebrating not just for the movie, not just for us as a community, but also for Autumn. She's part of this celebration as well. So, that's what I'm hoping. And I appreciate you guys for having me on, man.
Dude, anytime, man. I'll send you a link like every week, man. I'm really appreciate it. And Scott, of course, you're going to be last. You're going to send us off as per usual. Because he's got the best voice out of all of us.
Yep.
That's what it is. Chris Wong Swenson, go ahead. Plug yourself, sir.
Chris Wong Swenson over at the Ping Pong Flick Show. You can find me anywhere at Ping Pong Flick.
There it is. All right, Mr. Colbert. Mr. Colbert.
I'm Stephen Colbert. You can find me at Screen Rant or on my podcast with Andrew Dice, BVS by the Minute, where we break down Batman v Superman 1 minute at a time. And starting next week, Justice League by the Minute. We're just working on our recording plans, and basically, I think we're going to have a really busy first week of. We're not doing the minute by minute immediately. We got other plans to bring something different to people initially, and then the full thing we'll start shortly after. But also for BVS fans, we did just drop our Patreon exclusive hour-long discussion about Granny's Peach Tea and is that actually Lex's piss and how did he get it into the Capitol and all sorts of other questions. So definitely check that out.
I gotta say that is a 6 years of content. Or how many years did you calculate?
Oh, man, I mean we're halfway through BVS and we started it in April 2019. And I mean Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think, is if we do two episodes a week, that'll be 2.5 years, and we're probably not going to hit 2 every week. So
A lot of content.
And we've got other movies that we haven't even started yet. So,
yeah, we've got content for forever. But you know, and I mean, and also, you know, just because of your tweet, you know, when you posted our first DM, you know, Steven, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Cheers to like, you know, that me slipping in your DMs like that. Yeah. Hey, you know, I mean, talk about some dirty talk right there. Was that felt like a Snyder like movie to you? No.
Nope. Man, we could publish a book on those DMs. There's so many things in there.
Oh my God, I'm sure.
So
I know.
many secrets.
There totally is. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Things that still haven't come to light.
Yeah.
Really a dark side storyboard. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, that was one where I was like, dude, I just got handed a dark side storyboard. What do we do? Like, you know, and it was just like, you need to put it on Screen Rant. I'll put it on my channel. I got somebody on the. Oh man, it was like a whole thing. It was. I remember that. It was like that was nerve wracking a little bit for me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, and here we are. I mean, we literally, Steven, you realize like that fucking storyboard. We saw the actual fucking image of him sitting in the throne like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like that story.
February 2018. It felt like it was so long after the theatrical cut.
Oh yeah. Uche,
February.
Just to update you, like my guy who was associated to Snyder, all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, look at this," and he sends me the storyboard for Darkseid and goes, "Can you leak this out? Snyder wants this out." This is before like I was not even connected with Snyder or nothing like that. I haven't talked to Snyder, and he just goes, "Hey, leak this out. He wants this leaked out," and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I had to like, you know, figure out like how am I going to leak this out where it's not.
How do I leak it? Do I just tweet
it?
Yeah, tell it to somebody.
Yeah,
I still remember getting a text from Tim.
Yeah,
Steven shared it with Tim, and then Tim shared it with me. He was like, "Dude, just be prepared. We're talking about this next episode."
I was like, "All right." I've been talking to Steven. I'm like, and I hit him up first. I was like, "Dude."
Well, because that was the first. Kevin Smith had done the thing where somebody, which there's all sorts of issues with whether or not that was a legit leak or not. But but that was out there. But then this was the first like Darkseid was supposed to be in this movie. That was like the proof.
Yes,
that was because then because even though it was a leak, we actually got it. We had to reach out and be like, "Hey, is this?" Legit?
Oh yeah, I remember. Steve's like, "Well, okay, I'll make sure we reach out." And then all of a sudden he reached out, and then he goes, "Yep. That's it." And it was
like, "Where did you get this from?" I'm like, "Well, we're gonna post it. So do you have anything to say about it?" And I'm like, "Well, Zach drew it." So like that's all.
It was crazy. Like I remember like, you know, and I got in contact with Fiona because she had her website. I'm like, all right, well, let's put it there and I'll just be anonymous or something like that. And then I had this guy, I think it was DCEU News, who had a big following on IG. And I'm like, I hit him up. I'm like, "Hey, check this out. We're going to post this time tomorrow. Get ready." And it was all a big crazy thing. And it was
then a few months later, it came out that it was Ray. That was a few months later after that it was Ray Porter.
Yeah.
When that came out. Man, it's so great. Yeah,
Ray Porter.
Next week, guys. I know that I know one thing about this movie that I know for a fact nobody else knows.
Exactly.
From the horse's mouth.
Yes.
And I know that I'm the only one who knows because after we talked about this and he revealed this to me, when we got off the phone, almost like immediately after, I got a paragraph long text. Hey, do not repeat that, please. I'm like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to repeat it. But I mean, it's this dude is, I mean, he puts his heart into this shit, man. That's all I can say. I know, really and it's evident.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, and anytime that he like drops, I mean, like I said, you talk to him, he's just like so easy to talk to, and then he'll just drop shit. And I'm like, I mean, are you supposed to be telling me this shit right now, dude? I mean,
well, it's one of those things you watch.
I seriously was like, he kind of, you know, he loves to like talk about the stuff he's doing because he's had to hold it in, or he's had to be coy about it for 5 years.
Right. Whenever he's on a stream and he's talking, he starts looking at his phone. I'm like, what's he gonna do?
He started
That's what happened.
And I just imagine Deborah's around the corner going, "Zach."
He just started talking and was just going for like 5 minutes, and he told me how this entire thing went down. And and I was like, and then we got off the phone. He's like, oh, by the way, do not repeat any of that I told you about all of this. Don't say that to anybody, please. I'll say it when it's time to say it, but don't say that.
That's Snyder for you. Oh yeah. That's the way he is, man. All right, Scott, bring us home.
Well, of course, I am Scott McLennan. You can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find my podcast, the DC Film Squadcast, wherever your podcast can be found. Remember that our review of Zack Snyder's Justice League will be episode 300 of the DC Film Squadcast. We can be found on YouTube, Vero, Facebook, and you can find the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
There it is, guys. Wow.
300. Wow.
I like that. It's always good, but you can tell how drunk you are by how hard you try to make it good.
Fuck you, Steven. I put in effort. Maximum effort.
Maximum effort. Jesus Christ. Scott right now.
Fake laugh, hiding real pain.
All right, guys. You know what to do with me. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure when I'm doing this stuff, hit that join button if you want to become a member. There's also the Patreon if you want to help out the pirate ship right there. You get some early access to things and everything like that. Then, of course, the Film Junkie Closet for some merchandise. I need to get that drop of like
the shorts. Yes.
Yeah, the short. I need to get some Spaceballs. I mean, I have one Spaceballs drop, but I need more.
Everybody got that?
That's about it.
How big is your screen, by the way? You got like a whole window just drops.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's not full screen, but yeah. No, but well, I need to get some more of that. But anyways, guys, you know what to do. And thank you for watching
You are watching the Vodka stream.
Damn it. Damn. Jesus Christ. Ray Porter. That's always going to be there. And my God. And just because, because I laugh.
And also, I'm excited to watch the Snyder Cut because Joss Whedon sucks.
I believe Joss Whedon.
Look how serious that face was on him. I believe in everything that you think he's gonna say gets shattered. Joss Whedon, and it's like, okay,
dude.
Okay,
the fact I was like, I have to keep like that seriousness at the beginning of how serious he is when he says that.
I almost need that clip just with the I believe Joss Whedon part cut out because it's the stare alone.
He looked at the camera with conviction and said, "I believe Joss Whedon."
I believe Joss Whedon.
That pause too. I believe
dramatic.
His eyes did not move. They were straight at the camera.
He did not blink. He did not blink.
It's like, what's he gonna say? I believe what? Joss Whedon, what the fuck?
And he pointed at you like you were like, I believe Joss Whedon. Like,
oh, dick. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll talk to you guys later.